Tansi kakilyo, Fallon Baki, Digatson, Represent Niauche, and Nigamwan, O Canada and Cree. I'm going to sing O Canada and Cree for you. O Canada, Niginani taskinan, Sagituin, Kichawa simisak, Netena kipasigon, Kichikiwitinok, Utahoche, Neteyesko, Kasitos katinan, Nutawinan, Kanaweita, Kakanata, Ninipainan, Kiaoche, Kakanata, Ninipainan, Kiaoche.
Tansi, everyone. My name is Lionel Pillar. I'm the principal here at Clifford Whitney School in Red Pheasant. I'm a member of the Montreal Lake Cree Nation, and I'm very proud to be part of this podcast that my staff, the staff here at Clifford Whitney School, have put together. There's going to be some great stories told over the next few days from elders, storytellers from across the province. So I hope everyone enjoys. Oh, by the way, thank you to Fallon for leading us in with O Canada. That was beautiful. I really appreciate that. So with that, everyone, let's have enjoy the next 3 days. Thank you very much. Hi.
Good afternoon. Rhonda Wetney, Nitsigason, Mixuati Utinia. I'm Rhonda Wetney. I'm from Red Pheasant here. I'm one of the teachers at Clifford Whitney School. The staff here, I'm just going to give you a little background as to how we made this happen. The staff here at Clifford Whitney School, we're into learning and teaching about Indigenous language and knowledge in whichever form required. Due to COVID, we have had to become more proficient at modern technology. We wanted to plan for elders to share a story so we can learn from them. And from these podcasts over the next 3 days, our staff will use the information to enhance student language and writing skills. So I'm looking forward to the next 3 days and looking forward to hearing the stories and all the discussions. So.
I think you're deadly. And I like watching you be deadly.
Hey.
Who was that? Oh, no.
I don't know.
Oh, sounds. Oh, okay.
Abel.
Can you hear?
I can hear you. Niitä chiiko.
Yeah, that's you. Yep. Tansi, katamskatnaagahkio. Nia Brenda Albert, niutinakawatsi. Hi, I welcome everybody. My name is Brenda Albert. I am from Sweetgrass. I am the I am the TLC teacher of this school, and I really enjoy it because it's my passion. I was brought up in a very traditional way with the language and everything, land-based, everything. So we thought that this would be great to teach our young people, to pass on these stories on to them. That's why that title of this podcast, asohnamakitah, that means let's share. It's like the elders are saying, let's share our stories and the legends that were passed on to them. So I would like to welcome everybody. Please listen carefully, because I asked I asked the elders to speak in their language, the language that was given to them. So yeah, a lot of Cree. We have some Soto, we have some Dene, we have Lakota, Nakota, Dakota. So we're very fortunate to have these elders agreeing to do this. And I would like to say one more thing. I would like to thank one of the band members from here, an elder. His name is Linnell Benson. I was always told when you do something like this, to approach an elder to say a little prayer. So I had approached him, and he came in and said a prayer. He did smudging, and he said the prayer. Ega kisimut, wes kamiupaik. Umuche uskayak, ay sinok, wes kantuhtake, at ayuhkeuna at sumuna. So kset ripta mangetan. Tamskatna saminaga tio, tuhtamuk. Kiskenoa pekego kapah pinano. Ego se.
Well, I kinnaskobit na kakidomayak kan tohtawiyak kayak nidomayak Abel Charles o tiuchako minani Grandmother's Bay. Kiskiditin asohnamakitah kayak Prince Albert stapinani ki pigiwitno. Tapi puyo tihuin pits ka mistahisa ka heganik la ranch. Ki abits kiwit nok nida. Minani kaya misinip ko magayan on the Churchill River. Ko makuchaya miyan on chaya. Kagis gago inohti atamiskata ko kakita wawis chikis pin kihti ego man tohtamok. Kita tamiskat nawaw kis kiwap minawaw kita tamiskat nawa tinigi piwit miyak tinigin tohtawiyak. Kido makihti kagis kinohamawiyak. Ti sinihiduyak ti sayamiyak inaskomet nawa. Uskayak mina. Kis pinuskayak tohtamok. Kinnaskomet nawa pugidko. Kido mucho magatotamak. Nit nano magapinihiduyak. Ohchita pugigot ita kis kinohamata. Tan skonamata kumayamuin. Tan skos kinohamata. So uskayak kinagota iyayaik iwin tohtamigi kohomaya tan tohtawai ko kihtiayak tapahpahpiik takagwikskidihtamika yamuin tagakwitsiki muiga pugiwai suya ko bumakantawi kaskihtaak tapihtamah kita yamuin naw tapahpahpiak tan skunamatua kachamuina iyagumuma kuchtotamah kumaya somtono maginuis kaya kinuisisnistayak taas kutski with Brenda. My passion. Yago manisto manihilwi nayak mistahiti dihtamani nohti manachihtan kap aspin kohchawas siwiam tunayak aspin kohchupihtaman nihilwin pipihti nikusikapin pisaya ohpigino manihilwiwin beach ntatatuskatin riti homiachimuan mana MBC radio mudo magas kagisachimuan at 11 o'clock. Gani ko homute ko nakamachihtan. So kaya surityo kaya kohchachimuan ay mihchito mitano kihtiyak piachamustagunawak. So ay yago manisto maikstidit man nohti manachihtan nohti kiskinohamagian inohti kiskaman ta pugita ka nahipadagoma nohti kiskinomut ayamuin. So ekose.
Awe kaya kape pita oisko. Chache kuitamagao. Kuitamagao aunawia. Tansi satusketo ta. Ego before I like to say Tansi toy Sabrina Tansi Roxanne. Yasnin Dohtamek. I'm happy to see some people that are listening and watching and keep it up. This is for your good. And you can, you know what, people? You can ask questions. Just write it in, and we can do our best to answer those questions. I'm not saying I know I don't know everything. I'm still learning Nista. Okay, go ahead.
Well, Tansi, my name is Tina Bull. I am the grade 7 and 8 teacher. Good with that? Okay, so like I said, my name is Tina Bull. I am the grade 7 and 8 teacher here at the school. I'm originally from Little Pine First Nation, but I've been here in Red Pheasant now for almost getting to be 40 years. And I really enjoy working here in our school. We have a good staff. We have a good environment, Miosig. And I enjoy working with Brenda alongside her where I can. I speak the Cree language as well too. I think I'm pretty good. But yeah.
I think you're deadly.
Yeah. No, I grew up speaking my Cree language, First Nation language. My father, late Walter Bull, that's who my father is, but he spoke the Cree language to me all the time. And when I replied to him using the English language, he wouldn't reply because that was his way of teaching me how to speak the Cree language as fluent as I could. So for that, I'm Nanaskoman. I'm very thankful to him for teaching me that as I was growing up. Same thing with my mother, but she wasn't as much to speak that Cree language. It was majority of the time it was the English language due to the residential school. That was something that she had told me about what happened to them when they would speak the English language. I guess they would be punished for it. But I'm glad, like I said, I've been in that environment growing up that way. I speak the Cree language to my children as well. They don't really talk it, but they understand it. They're a little bit shy, which is too bad sometimes that I see today's younger people. They're a little shy because they're afraid that somebody will make fun of them or things like that. But I always encourage amakame, nehio peak squig. That's your native language, and hang on to that to keep that for the future. So that's what I'll say for now. That's who I am. Egose. She wrote that. She said, "Say egose."
Brenda.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, Brenda, for a bit is maybe for the audience that is not Cree speaking or don't understand the Cree language, maybe I'll introduce myself in the English language for a while. My name is Abel Charles. I'm from Grandmother's Bay. That's north of La Ronge, if you know where La Ronge is. It's just north of there. That's where I'm coming to you from. And, during this podcast, it's my first experience with the podcast, but what our intentions or objectives are is to share the language. We'll have elders throughout the 3 days joining us and sharing their stories in the Cree language. And we're here to laugh, we're here to listen, we're here to learn and to learn some of the teaching. So that is what this podcast is all about. And for myself, I grew up learning the language. That was the language we used at home in the community. There was very little English, very little outside influences like television or radio. They didn't exist really. So all we heard was Cree. There was no Cree language time. It was just part of our lives. That's what we spoke. So in the evenings, I'd hear a lot of traditional stories, which I would share later on. In the next 3 days, I'll share some of my stories because somebody told me, "Hey, Abel, you're getting old. Maybe it's time you start sharing some of those stories." And I have heard many stories. I work with NBC Radio, And I have interviewed hundreds of elders, Cree elders from the south, from the north, from the central part. So this is what I do. Brenda Albert said that Cree language is her passion. This is my passion, promoting this language in whichever way I can. And at some of the, they call scrums or a press conference, if I know the person answering the question speaks Cree, I would ask it in the Cree language. So I promote it anywhere I have an opportunity. So that's about it. Throughout the next 3 days, I'll tell some of my stories, which have been told to me. I don't take ownership of those stories. They are our nation's, Cree Nation's language stories. Those are collectively ours. They're not my own. So they were passed on to me myself. So for the elders, for those elders listening in, thank you for joining us, and thank you for the knowledge that you give us. Sikose.
Sama. Able tataminan right to enam. Kihte egone ka nutsum ka wipikskitsik. Uta tuhteetsiguma. Iskunikani. Miksuati, Red Pheasant, that's where they're from. Square walk. So they're great. I had the privilege to talk on a square walk on to go got it. Kachimuchik before Kayasota. I was speak. Nita Chimuk. Yo comes could say asohnamakitah. Utachimuno. We start keep it to mustache was shoots. Exama kiano. Kaisi niuja, skeita magigo pe asohnamakoaho ki temnok. Mui masenai kani. Kuhtsetrimana eki nanahita ke kayas uskaiak. Eki pihitsik, eki intuhtahke, eki snaptsik. Teki Euktoutsik sketa ke go ektego ispitsi tigo mega yo gomeskuts asohnamakitah. So ani gana iskuel katsemu Tina Whitford siga son katsim so autanteut eutohtet utaisinima. Asetse katsnaik. Yeah. So kapeha no artina kaya gut no maya. Biskwe muhtsikan hom ka funiptit. Ja, sun tohtamok skaitek. Unigi humaok. Teak kagaks sina kistaga kisingi no tegui tigemu na kigo tsatsa. Kamasana hina tanantoya. Kap Sagaste paisium getuan. Kaya nektamana oksipugi goi sixketami kuichi ke mugi goi. You have yeah, so I put school itegon mo they won't answer their phone calls. I put the music. I put it nanto ayatsk. So kaigaskiha go Tina Whitford. Kutage go no tsugo so Margaret siga so. No tago utawa. Manita chimu.
Hello.
Hello. Margaret. Hello. Oh, dagutamag. Okay, this is busy agomina.
I'm just going to translate a little bit because that's going to be a part of my job during this podcast. We know that everybody doesn't speak Cree or understand Cree, but what Brenda was saying a little bit earlier, just before the.
Hello.
Hello, Tina.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Tansa tauya.
Oh, mate nanto.
Oh, ipe ko inom Kirk Favela. She hung up and the star.
No, wawan pita makuma.
Oh, they want to pitake. They misstyled or something. I don't know. Maybe they pressed the wrong button. But anyways, Tina, ipe tao ka chimuin apo ka tayo cake. Kiwitap mau no chuga so Margaret. Okay, kia sani gan ka pigs kwan. Kai gon skisi to ka week dan teu tuhtek dan teu. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Say Mark Juma.
Aha, say Mark.
Tansi.
Mananto.
Nigana ya. Nigano no tena naskumak. Mamo tawi mau. Paktin gua mo taya tau na magwa. Kigo ay ga chimwa. Tena naskumak ya. Takisigaw ni gwa. Matsito tamag. Maganista no teatsimwa na ya. Kigo ya. Kipe spike. Maga. Tina Whitford. Seafasten. Baptiste Mane. I used to be Tina Baptiste. Ewa. Neho'i hon. Aya. Iginigaw yan. Ewa siyo yan. Kaya tapius. Igini treno pega mawi hon. Ewa siyo yan. Masko kaya tapit. Esama eto etagama wihon. Mistake wene sigaw yan. Mayo mane. Ewa siyo yak mayo matpano tiyak. Si mama na kwe wigaw yak. Ni hiyaw ni tekeise. Aya. Kakanoyim gusyak. Ni hiyaw na. Ni hiyaw wihon wihon. Pas mane hitets kete ya kaya. Kuto magami gawin. Itse sana. Kawene si gawin. Kasipwete ino mga nagataman na maski. Ekwe sama. Wihon epten sa unaski. Ekwa mame ginote. Simusyana kwa mama psis. Ekuta uteu taskane siana ya piyo kami mixuati rekpedin. Kakeo te peyi yana sawasi ya. Ekwa kakeo tau yan, kakeo kau yan. Lugar wa Teresa Baptist. Kisi kasok. Ekwa ya. Kukom no. Gusto mana kukom no kikiawa. Tungi kete upeg meni tite sika kaki ukum yan Sarah Sangre. Ukawia. My mom ukawia Sarah Sangre kisika. Kaki utaw yan ukawia Liza Puyak kisika. Ewa mo tinstoy mao nimusum na niyaw yote. Ni kutaga ko ganitsa naga aya. Instaway milk, Mary or Mike or Wilmer. Magaya. Stay money x no magwapok. Unico no kumnana. Asko manaya. Kiwa maga kano tewi sa magwapok manigito wap. Kintom gwapok man ka pepi to wap. Te was kami piagin. Sinuta magaw ya kiwa ekay kiwa emaya ta kautnami ito piya kuma tapos ni ko na sisigiwan kaya ekito etsikmanaya ayo mana egi tasita ki kumaya tansaya pues nagatugatsu mina tansi guys nagatugatsu guys sino pues guys panna chik egotu guy magai para respect respect ego mana ya si mana gi we mina nagatugatsu no mes iskweli na si we egi sama muy wow y magi we tos vitama que te squat pues ki we egi vitama ego mana mai vitama egi sama wa ego mi te tomane si so magi we kao mane smam te ne tamane te so magi we agi te sama go ya ego skoi tamana nagi we ego ne e kit ta tapwe pai ko mana gi we agi sama go ya much gustamok que te aquí we kawita masik Niye ten manay. Moyo kunik po. Kete naman nagipegyo kete. Ayan. Kutaga kete. Nasusuga. Chogo ga itit. At bueno singer. Si sumano may wa. Sam. Ayan. Sam Benson. Ipegyo ga ako abok mana. Ewe gyati mo chik mana. Mo iski we. Tiga stay pa iso. Ikuto aki we. Giutayanan. Ego manong gagi pegyo ito tamano may gyap ya man to tamagya. Ego may ay dinge chuko magati mo tapos pe wan tiga stay pa ito dapat kami. Ego man gagi ugaw yan may ipapinota. Kete yo. Sa mata isa mo. Ego tunin stente mao kumo kete maguta. Pegon kahyo pegon spite magi sutom awano chukwe so taga pe kyo ko kano e mo kete wit mas putte go yo mu taski kan mane kwe miu pa mi mana kahyo no kete kwe miu pa ma mana kahyo isagi aki e vaya te euskayo ya Tene to epsisiana ya. Mutegi wawigi aman pagwanga mugug. Ay pasat na. Kunti te ikiwigi ya tan toski ito Tunu ito nanto ni soski. Te manigi ya kaya. Muim tenep tanto status kanan kya tes ya wasiunan maga. Negi kaktab magmanus ka uska ya kete ya ki gumste eketus kete gaya usi keki kwe eke kwe te pasta pamu iskape po masusi kete minaya en gote chik ti ta kastat mana ego mati chik ego namane ging kata ako humstego ya petita chika ya usita chum mengala ege tawa ke chumanan he konan he mate tan he vaya tamana use ge atawe chiki vaya use kausa ni cha kayun sa moya ya sinaw ya kui kasi kay na to ya katuta ka kekit tusket. Ekse vaya nanto nyana punyana putsing kuta se punyana gi te spitya kay gota spikani. Ekta was kay kani gini go ya. Tebo wa wikya. Ekte wanta nimste ya tuskana ne wasi ya. Iya. Nagyugaw yan o ba? Nimiso Mary. Stege tuskya pisay. Oskay kani. No so ako eksipegin ya kanati siya. Kiki wa eksise. Ego uya oge. Nitsa na koge. So signapyo kiki. Ewi sanya. Iwan niya na no tamuka. Isin na. Maga. Wisto mana ya. Stege tuskya wisto ya. Si so pe wan giwan na ya. Yeah. Sa tuskya kaya. Ipamaya sa timo etik mo sa giyawan anak. Sa timok. Paakwanak. Usap ka. Higi ba kausuta pa niyo. Ewa. Kimatsiyok mana. Sumusa maniging pahat. Ewa ni nanewasiyo ya kaya. Ikiteta piyak mana ya. Ipat siksepak. Enton natstapakwan ya. Mana ko tatas ko nanto gi peso ako. Wapsak. Kapegi mo ako wapsak. Ewa mane waya kata ko pa ya mane. Kanatstapakwan ya ako. Kenit so ako mana. Sampo every morning man boards kagi ugaw yan. Agi smith so ako. Tas kampay akin tok na maso. Agi 6 nama sa kawai pumain pa ya. Minasa mineva natstapakwan ya. Nasa minanantom tatatin. Imitet ka ex-speak. Wapsak. Ite manom kagi natstapakwan ya. Papapampay man sa ka. Isa sa script. Ano sewa magiway. Nagsisewa patami. Egiway utak nagsisik kaya skiway. Muhatin tete na timak siya. Muhatin tenute katanan ka pekskita pa. Kagi tawaran man. Egiwstikan mana ekstikan. Egiwsitat mana. Egiwstikat pikitat tisikstikan na. Katawang sisigiway. Ewa. Tamina ko nagiway hitap pa niyo. Ewa ko no mana on tangage te pagkagiukom yan may kagiukaw yan ugaw yan. Ito manen tam so may wasi ya maga na to mana pun ko to sige gi pagtin ko kaya kawiti ya kan don tam so ka gi way en tam so amin tatagwem na ni tim na ayus kanak. Hewa mano maya kapegi sik manes puede amar tapaso ento damso. Hewa mana ga kukum no ga iti mana ka tips kam kapegi tapaso mane. Ipe payak manas ko. Akim guak mana ka nanto ya. Asko. Net makim gua nan to kaniti pa ya or muy skita
Kaya gawa ni kuikche.
gayo mai se tips ka ko ma tapa so ka ko tigi ya gaya nan to kaniti gua squeezing ya or kuisi mane gi data tun mane gi momento nito ma kai tu ya ko mananto ha
Aya. Tina pita mau aya. Pizza kusawa. Tina bo. Kawi, tamtan seto ene kasimut. Saatski.
Kiikoe.
Aja, kitsa kusa Tiina pole ja. Kasimut Tansikis Tansumi saatsimuin. Pitamaa. Saats muistas ja kakituttenaan. Sama ja kutaka ja. Kui se Margaret puga kituttaa. Beto.
Ai sinä ai manu mai kan tuuta tana ja ma piikskoi mutskan muntsinegi petamaan.
Aja, pitamaa wat kitsa kusa Tiina polka ja. Kasimum kaitu enomaga ja kai saatsimuin.
No, okay.
Yeah, George.
Monanto.
George, some we're a little bit running short on time, Uta.
Okay. Kamiasen.
Mue man gis kitu neptatan.
Mue miasen kaki skip scene, please.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
I know. George ka pay you go. Okay, please, I'm with doesn't George, Tina.
Okay, eksä ottaa tämän spiujaua.
Ajap tamawa kitsa Agustin. Tamawa kitsa Agustina will say everything
In English.
yeah.
Ei mun jauet.
Yeah, kasimut yeah. He speaks Squidity, Octago Margaret Kakitut will phone her.
Okay, gastana puitu noit kapetam speakerphone. Atem saati puga papiksquid.
Okay. We'll use the speaker. We'll use her phone and she can put it on speakerphone. This way, kapetam.
Aha.
Okay, mustas Tina.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Like I said just a little bit before, the phone call was made to my sister-in-law, Tina Whitford, to share her story. During the podcast, I'm going to be acting as a translator to help the people, the students that don't understand Cree for them to know what is being shared, as this is the goal for what we're doing with this podcast. So with Tina Whitford, what she had shared was some good words, good story sharing from her upbringing here on the Red Pheasant First Nation. She stems from here, from the Baptiste family. She had thanked the Creator for today as well, for allowing and being given the opportunity to share her story and what she has known throughout her life here. One of the first key things that she went off with was the purpose of the importance of cultural name giving. Some of us, most of us, we do have Cree names that are given to us. And when we have a Cree name, it serves a good purpose where it protects us in life, and it gives us a value, it gives us a meaning, it gives us identity of where we belong in life, to what family and where we stem to, as maybe if we are given after an animal. Whatever name that is, it does, and as she was saying, it's very meaningful and we should value that. The other thing she went on discussing was about grandparents, how she grew up being able to have that gift of sharing and hearing from her grandparents all the stories that were told to them for life purposes. And what I really liked what she said was they were sat around in a circle. It was as if they were watching TV, listening, as opposed to today now, where students, young people, they turn TV on, and that's what preoccupies them. They're forgetting about the way of storytelling, and storytelling is very important. She also noted that elders back then were very direct in sharing their stories, whatever it may have been, but it was for the benefit of the individual, for the younger people, to serve good deeds as they go on in life. She also mentioned about how valuable back then that the younger generation had showed the care, the love, and respect to the elders because that was their main source. That was their main resource where they would get what they needed. The importance of living off the land, how they were never poor because they were rich with, they were able to go hunting, to go snaring, to go berry picking, basically living off the land, and it was plenty. They were never hungry. They never starved. She talked about the importance of the roles that the family played. The females and the males, they all had different roles that had to be played to serve as a whole family along with their chores. So with that, I really enjoyed listening to Tina Woodford, as she is our first individual from the Red Pheasant First Nation here sharing her story. It's wonderful. I'm looking forward to all the next ones. It was
Okay, tapos. Abel, kiwit si Nantong Inotaton.
Nanashkomau, Tina Woodford, Gapiacha Mustagoa. So I'd like to thank the elder Tina Woodford. And, although myself, I'm not young, I learn every time, it seems I learn something every time I listen to an elder. And she talked about the gathering activities, the hunting, the rabbit snaring, and also some of the men, I guess, some of the people used to cut fence posts, I guess, and sold those. And if they needed something from the store, like groceries or clothing, that's where they got it from. From selling. So I'm from the North Country, and although our culture is similar in some ways, we don't see too many fences over here. But so I'm learning. That they also lived from the land. The country food, the animals, the berries, the plants. They also depended on those like we do over here. So that's enlightening. And he talks about also they owned horses, pigs, I guess, cows, and chickens, and so that's that part of the history. That's what we want to learn. Especially young people that are listening, if you want to know who you are, because I think sometimes I hear some elders say, well, in not all youth, but some youth, like we don't really know who we are, and but we need to learn our history, where we came from, our elders, the protocols, the beliefs. We need to learn those and to know who we are. And once we know who we are, we develop and grow in a more healthy way. So thank you.
Okay, the next one. Is Kai Tueta Tina Whitford is Mamu Gihte out, Gihte Wutotas Kika Numa Mixuati, Margaret Desharn Sigaso, no Tsueso. Yeah, 97 Anita Tuponet. So Tapuin, Yasinio Sapa Tauma, Gihtaeun, Tapoy Gihtaeun. Hey, Tansi, Margaret.
Aha,
Yeah, Brenda.
Brenda.
Yeah. Albert.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, Gatic. Yeah. Ayom gisin na ya katsimuin kikwe. Apo kikwe atay kisna tayo kan ikin. Apo katsimuin kikwe. Tsotsa ya kiam ne hiya weni munanton tsotsa oti na ya. Katuita ma kaasimut. Kipehtaun.
aha.
Okay, we are atsimo. Atsimo.
Ikaw mo taman.
Pugi koi. Ispi pe kaya se pe skywin dan se pe so pigi na pugi koi atsimo ni ki pehtaman ki teima ki atsimo pehtot ki atsimotsik.
Ja, pe pikään, että ne teki viitsaa makmadam stahe nohkom. my dad's mother. Outside mana. In the spring man exegi we weep it outside na tent we get. The woman to we charm. I grew up being close to my grandma.
Tansi kisigasat ko kumpan. Juan kisi no komke pugutse skemat.
Waa sketman tansi kisigasat.
Ta monanto apunista no kumaputse skemat tansi kia munya wigasat. No kumpuman kisigatak.
Ja, mooi zo van sketen. In mijn naai te bewezen.
Ja, tape.
Ja, zo mooi mooi te bewezen nog zo kwets maar dan ze dat die sigaret. No gompo.
Tape, ja.
No gom die zou man.
Dan saya kaki wi chamat. Aya. Kichewakan.
Outside awina.
Kaki wi chamat kichewakan. Kaki kichewakan.
The guy I married.
Yes. Your love.
My love was from Canistano.
Oh, Canistano.
Yeah.
Munyastje.
Moya, disarm.
Oh, disarm.
I guess Frenchman.
Oh, good thoughts.
Howie anyway was a Frenchman, I think.
Okay. Kimunyaw nauksu.
Not really.
Kitrakapeo.
Yeah.
Naksamaga, kutra no kia. Na pay means I'm a trakapeo. Tapwe, miosen. Nakutoganto na te trakapeo.
Yeah. And he joined the army, and that's how we went to Germany.
Oh.
I worked 2 years in Vienna. So, and then I had one baby over there.
Oh.
And that was Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy, it's gonna take any target.
In Germany.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Tamata tawas sa kiki ayaiko.
So, there was Bruce, Richard, Marion.
Oh, yes.
Or Jimmy.
Good.
So Marion is married in Sweetgrass.
Yeah.
Bruce is here on the reserve, and he's not married. Richard is in Edmonton, between Edmonton and Yukon. He's working there he's hauling lumber.
Okay.
From Edmonton to Yukon. But Jimmy, he's in BC somewhere.
Okay. Margaret.
Huh?
Mates, tell us a story about when you were a young girl. Like that, okay.
When I was a young girl?
Yes.
Yeah, I went to school here, day school. I spent 2.5 years in a sanatorium. I had TB.
Okay.
In Prince Albert. And then I came home and I just worked out in different places in the huts, like housework in the idol then, and even naman ang camp towards the last camp no from mana.
Okay.
Where there's 8 men, I think I had to feed. There was some kind of construction get the sky going. It was kind of hard.
Well, yeah,
I kept moving all the time, and it was in the bush. I don't know what they were looking for. They were crushing gravel. That's what it was.
Oh,
And then they would find it in the thick forest.
Oh, so they were in the bush looking for gravel.
Aha.
Kanso may tapachita the gravel.
Mama na on the highway got yesterday.
Oh, okay.
They crush it.
Okay.
They crush the rocks.
Oh,
It come a gravel, you see that.
okay.
And then they would spread it on the highways.
So you kind of know a little bit about building highways,
Aha.
Asohnamakitah.
And one make it keep nota que can get the thrashing crew.
Oh, is that what they're called? Say the thrashing crew.
Aha.
Okay. Were there any Nehiawak working in the thrashing crew?
You why?
Nehiawak? Were there any
Moimtone, no.
No.
Mostly was Muniasa.
Okay.
I guess they had their own jobs. Moimtone schema what really each man, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But mostly was Muniasa.
Yeah, okay.
Our foreman was Muniasa. And our foreman commit suicide too.
Your foreman committed
And
suicide.
we don't know why.
Huh. That was,
In his trailer,
Yeah.
they gave him Scott around dinner time. Remember, we were to have dinner. One of those foremen were staying with the boss in a trailer, so he went there to take his coveralls off or something, but they would be for dinner. Then got Jim Scott in Paisui, then he's our foreman, so we don't know why.
Huh. That was they just found him like
Actually,
that.
I never went back to work.
Oh. Huh. That was
He didn't have a foreman, so.
yeah. So I put go Abel Charles and going to make some questions. Are you ready, Margaret? Go ahead, Abel. Abel Charles, going to make some questions or something. Go ahead, Abel.
Tansi Margaret kipitawin.
Aha.
Okay, ayako manida Abel Charles o manida. Tansi manawi katskin po in radio. Ko tama niya chimuan.
Oh, aha.
So tanti na magagintaw minawasyo in tantananta o tichigiwit no kagachi ikuti.
Kiwai.
Tanti gagintaw minawasyo. Where were you a cook?
Oh, in a camp.
Tanti, whereabouts in the province?
Oh, that's Saskatchewan, all around. It could be way up north by Laurens.
Okay.
Yeah. That way.
Oh.
So it's all over where it was needed. They were putting gravel and stuff like that on the highway,
Mm-hmm.
or else they're crushing gravel. They would find gravel, and so they crush it for the highways. So and then they'd send me over there to go and cook for the men that are working there.
Yeah.
Sometimes there were quite a few of them, and sometimes there were few.
Yeah. Margaret. Margaret, magaya Germany. Tansagagi isayak. How did people live in Germany? Pia ganchi minota.
There's nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about the same thing, and the only thing you had to get rid of get used to their food, the taste of it. It kind of tastes different. And then we weren't allowed to buy eggs or meat and chickens or anything like that, because it's not very clean yet when we were there. So we had to buy meat from Denmark, I think, butter and stuff like that from different countries. They had a Canadian stores like. One of them was about 4 miles away, and we'd go on a bus and go and get our groceries over there, or else we can get some. They had a store there near there where we lived.
Margaret, magaya kohkom gagiwi chamat kohkoma nagagiwi chamat kikoma nagi michik.
Gophers, I guess, or rabbit. Bannock or fried bannock, whatever. It was tasty anyway.
Ayachi kiminis kachi takagiwigi.
Iwai.
Kiminis ka na itama nagagiwigi.
No. We had to go and look for them.
Dan tuik minsa.
Any kind of Saskatoons. Chuck Terrace. Sa pomnak.
Kia gadasi mo na kohkom. Kia gadasi mo that she speak English.
Moya. No Moya. I guess she must be from Ovima. If they might have some more stuff, they were in the Sonyama once a month. Well, he won't make a man again more stuff.
Ayak magaya Tansi gagi sikit tahamagawin ki spin ki patnegat.
Ikwai.
Tansi gagi sikit tahamagawin. How were you disciplined if you needed to be disciplined?
At home, chi. My dad was very, very strict. Mo we want to kapamakam siya kaya mo spatong ganan. And we had to ask if he wanted to go dancing, and if he says no, and that was no. We never made a fuss over it because he said no. Instead, we'd go and look for our horses, and then we'd go horseback riding instead of going to a dance.
Okay, Brenda Kirigo.
No, and that was no. We didn't cry over it either.
Margaret.
Yeah?
Tina skumten. Tina, you want to skumten Margaret got big screen. So I'll turn it over to Tina.
Thank you once again, Margaret. It was it was an honor to listen to you share a bit of your story for the past 97 years that you lived. That's an honor to live that long. Yes.
You had a good life.
You had a good life.
Still do.
Okay.
And have a good day, Margaret.
Yeah. Same to you.
Yes.
Nice talking to you.
Yes, Hey, goodbye. See you.
Yeah, okay, bye.
Hey, Brenda.
Okay, go on.
Were you done now, Tina?
Go ahead.
What I was gonna say, I'm not terribly surprised that Margaret didn't know her grandmother's name or Kokum's name. I'm not surprised because when I was growing up, I don't see that. Unfortunately, I don't see that so often nowadays. But when I was growing up, I was never allowed to address my parents, my grandparents, or uncles by their first name. I said Noho, Nemosom, Nohomis, Nsisi, or in Sigosi. But I would never be allowed to address them by their first name. That just not was not done. So nowadays, I'm teaching my grandchildren, my nephews, nieces, not to call me by my first name. They can call me Nisis, Nokomish, or at least Uncle Abel or something like that, but not by. So that is what I'm trying to pass on now. I personally do not take any honor or some people try to call me elder. Well, that's up to them if they want to call me that. But if I'm related to you, like I tell our chief, call me Nokomis because that is what I am to you. I'm your uncle. Call me Nokomis. Don't call me elder. Like siitä ko ama na ja tehtätset no miniga wiks kedo mua ko uskayak. Ja wahkottuin niihin lau wahkottuin takui mitsähä ko. Niihin lau wahkottuin. Ja ko minä ja iki pihtämään minä ja kiisvintäwi tamuat augia ka po no simtita ta po negosis chance, my daughter, my son. Ta niihin luin maga, negosis chance. Kiisvin negositita chance aga chigikos mistahe midomahchihoak because they feel a sense of belonging. I belong somewhere. I'm somebody's, kiispin negosistita or chance agachi nosim. You give them that sense of belonging. They belong somewhere, and somebody cares. So that
I totally agree with that, Abel, and that's what I was going to emphasize right away to the people that are listening. That was one of the key things that Margaret shared was the respect of kinship, never calling your family by their names. That's one thing that I share along with my family as well too. It serves like what you're saying, Abel. It serves a meaning. It serves a placement. It serves the value. It serves the love. It serves the care as who you are as an individual. When say for example, when a mother calls for their son, you don't call them by their name. You say Nikosis. Nikosis means my son in Cree. Same thing with when you're calling to your daughter, when you're talking to them, in Cree, Nitanis. That's the Cree word for my daughter. And just that, when you're calling and you're talking to your children in that way, you could see even that glow in their eyes, their body, how, it serves a good meaning, things like that. Same thing when you're talking to your grandparents or your relatives in any way. With kinship is important to call them by the Cree language term of kinship. And that's what I want to emphasize right away with what Margaret was saying, because she said she didn't even know what her grandma's name was. That's because she just knew her as, her kukum, her grandma. So that was I really like that part. And that's something that we as First Nation people need to continue carrying on. That's a good traditional value. And how she went on talking about living in Germany, where she moved with her husband. They're living there for 2 years, and where her child was born. The different things that she can remember, even though she's 97 years old, she still remembers a little bit of different things of food, where they had to go and get food. They couldn't have what they wanted to have on hand, like
like the chickens and things like that. So I thank Margaret with sharing her story, remembering about living, working in different camps, in different places in Saskatchewan. And, like for crushing rocks and for the highways that it's used on today. So it's good. It's good to continue hearing the stories that are being shared from the elders today.
Hey, that way. I've been reading what people have been writing. That word, wakuhtuin, that's such a big subject. It is. And it's never too late to teach your young people that word, wakuhtuin, how each person is related. Because wakuhtuin and respect, they go hand in hand. I was brought up, wakuhtuin was the number one thing for us in my family, and respect. Because if you knew how you related to somebody, you show respect. Especially as a young girl growing up in my family. Like I said, I grew up very traditionally. Like I was taught by both my late mom and my late kukum. Oh, by the way, before I go on, I've been noticing a lot of young people been calling. I'm just trying to. It's just the way I was brought up. The word, because I once addressed my grandmother, my late grandmother, this word. I said, "Nokum." Oh no, I said "kokum" with a K. And my late kokum looked at me and said, "Nach." Kokum tani ma kuku chimi nokum. Kasong kagin nakast. You know that word kukum means your grandmother. If you're going to address your grandmother, you gotta say no kum, my grandmother. So I've been kind of trying to straighten out some young people, the proper way of saying that. Same thing with my mom, Nikawi, my dad, Nuhtawi. That way, we were brought up to address each other according to the way we are related. Even my younger brothers, I got 3 brothers, they never call me by my first name, they call me by Nimis. And because I'm the only, I'm the female, it was really, we were taught to respect our older brothers. And to this day, I only got one older brother. And to this day, because I have so much respect for my older brother, when I do talk to him, it's very rarely I talk to him because that's how much respect I have for him. When I do talk to him, I don't even look at him in the face. I don't even know what he looks like. It's called respect. I respect my older brother. Same thing with my younger brothers. When they do talk to me, they don't even look at me in the face. It's to do with the rank. Even when my late uncles were alive, we have 2 ways of saying uncle. My late mom's brothers, I call those sis. And my late dad's brothers, I call them nuhtawis. Even those 2, there's a way of showing respect for them. My late mom's brothers, nisisak, I never looked at them in the face when I talked to them, and I rarely talk to them. That's, the respect there again. As with my late dad's brothers, nuhtawis, they're just like a father figure. I like that word, nuhta is in there. Once my dad passed away, nuhtawis, my dad's brothers took over as the father figure. A lot of people, that wakuhtuin is very sacred, to be taught with respect. My kumawa, when I was young, she took me around. When there was a Sundance in Baguisimu, she would take me around, and I had to be with her. And she would go around, we would go from tent to tent. I guess I was going through that stage, that initiation. Because I was a young girl, I was being taught how I was related to these people. And at the same time, these were people from out of the reserve, like from other provinces. Just to show me that the kinship, the wakutuin, went beyond the reserve. So, it's our job as adults to continue those teachings. There was a reason, even the stories that were being told, there was a reason why we were told. Not to keep them to ourselves. Asohnamakitah, to pass it on, to share them. So with that, so far, sorry, I took most of your time. Just before we started this program, speaking of doing kinship, I remember we were little kids. My brothers and I used to play a game. And I remember there's one song. I'm going to sing to you guys. I think Abel, listen to me. We used to sing this song. I forget what it was, a game. We used to sing this song. No kom to sem ni sa ji kom, and then we were just skip along as we were singing that. And it was that that kind of brought me to this. Even singing back then, we had to say these words in Nihiawea. So yeah, there was something to do with your kukum's boobs and the boys, nisas, your male cousins' warts. Okay, accept them. Next in, yeah. So the next person we're going to call up is Tina Benson. She's a band member here. So we'll wait for... you remember that song too? So Tina Benson. And I hope she answers her phone. Okay,
Hello.
Oh, Tansi, Tina.
Good. Miasin.
Yapsumaka, niya Brenda. Ay, Katsimuin, kikway. Ako kaya tayo ka. Nini, kipukikway sa tsimuin Speaker ki pagatingin, yatsimuin mananto.
Nimissen gatsi maue ki pagatinge to the North Balford kagi Sac City.
Tapos, ako nagatsi mo.
Magaya.
Tina. Kaya. Kawison, tante utsin, tuhteen, taisini makapsisin o kikawi, pan kuhtawi, pan na po kimusum, kimkagaw kuming musumin.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Kiego.
Okay. Hello, Kiptino at Tamskatagok. Yeah. Nask mauhtawi no ni gano when nask maganutsong giskaw ni sawi kwa emios giskaw minip matsiak. Minegi ko ke mamioya ya. Ekse utan tu chino mixwachi manan siga tenek te uchan. Ati te toge siga tek manay pihewga mixit. Mage samano eki siga tek mixwachi. Pihewga mixte sane giaya. Ita kutmano te giaya. Ukmakano te utek siga tekekon. Ekse giunigi kung magagiwan ni Hawk. Either Benson, Victoria Benson, DC Haswell. Eko kagiukom yan Sarah Sangre, eko John Sangre, DC Haswell, no kumak. Egon Japan nagnukom Mary Baptist kisika so egon Japan ni musoma James Baptist. Eksum magagi pep macho wa kum gagi pep patbo tikiano ma. Timsta hegi pex no magaw ya iwea. Apsisi ngai mo teno ne heusi chegao no he. Aya. Stegi peri tamago ya ki ko unan hegi pex no magaw ya. Tas kutum pagwe sumun pot sumun. Pitsun. Ego mino mae taya. Pas kut sumun. Na ka kyo ho mo mustigao na. Yukseng mata to tenek tamani gima ikito tayo ya kung kayo pewasyo ya. Ewan stegi pek tamago ya kiwe. Pewi tamago ya. Yuksum kay to tayo ya kung maya mumustigaw ni awas sa kung ninan. Yuksegi tamago ya pamwisip kay to tayo kakamwatap ya kanto tama. Mina kagi sumataw ya mga kapampata mga kapaskupata ko awevya oksis kakamotapya minaw ya ke pikskwet mga kakoskipaywa oksisan kiwe tuniso skwacha kiwe sui tamago ya kiwe to pikya yukse met matsum yuksisum kiwe met matsaya skisinu kiwe uka mwawita man na toko ne heusi tau na kiwa yo heki tu te akma neksim kune na nas kumwana meksiki tek na magauyan mi nagan ne hewe onum paka ne hewe ak sama uche yuksegi pe chiku gni ki kwa ne musto mak no kumak yuksegi smi kwa ka mamu tau ino isumegi ksewa ta kung piksko na ki aspemi gauya ke kumong mustigauna Yuksegi smi Rusia. Ay kanya hiyaw ya. Ngi teka ono kome kone musum. Kwe sa meito e kama kanya hiyaw e ne wangi wiyawak. Eito e chikikito e chikorsus. Ne wan niyaw e ya ke same e kisa aspi kwa kutawino. Este wikwa. Pensame que mata abajo maya ni heo hum gano right goya yuksegi swita magoya an mananiste peo pigyan yuksegai go one skisyan manegi petets kan ni heo yanuma nagai one skse yuksegi smi busia ewa magata patsi inu tenigan ni nagto simsaka kwet Yuksista katisks no mo chigo hisi chigao no he. Mi no magkane heo e chigo he. Sam uchay samento na me mata wa kumaya pics ko no maka pics ko akane heo ya. Mi nagagagi simwa ka yuksum kay si pics ko ya. Yuksasin kay to an kamanatsia kay tuhtia kumnanto si chigao na mi nagwes po kumi nagkakanatso wa. Nagitro ya manegwa kakasage ya kwes kay tapya skoko kwes kay tapsik kwes muy kana peopya kigitro ya mia ko megis tikmana ntuta kiwe ka pics kwes ko ekta ka gismo ntuta na Tansi swas ko itek taisino ka gismo ekta magi ko ingen ekta magi ko ne mios Kune sa isiniun mioya uneksis ka kiweto na wene gite kau ya akmana. Iwaya. Kakyo kiwa yo hepo kuminam tun kamanatsia. Kamanatiswa, kamanatsak ni ki kunanak makumakanan. Kakyo kiwa yan hen tekakagipin epniha hukman simsnanak istes. Nimesyksip kaknito akam tiks kong. Eko mucha mana chito no kung nimusome kune petwa ngawi no tawi. Yuksanye ki pe speaks wa ho speaks ona. Ime kwa match chiku nigi ho mitsanak. Mui ka chinsta he utspesta mana eka kawawi ha ho. Ai kwa mina e kwa next no tawi singawi season ni message to ni stage seki to speak square mana chi to nan ma ku to no mina gi cheita kwa a hap siski kwa an hep mai muta manan he kwa ya e kwa mina e no ne he wa yo he ki ko yo ka pe a pachita ku mana chi to sa ki to nexisa kwe sai mo ton kwe sai me haun mine gi to che tu na ma kwe sai me ha ke ne he ya mina tan skai ska gi semua ke ki pex na ma kwa ko ni gi hunana no kum panana no somnana tan skai sikitota ma mo ko tau no ge sina suma ki wai go skai sin te tamoa ki we mios ta te gi skau Kagi smusta ma te sino ga waneta, ko nau ya kagi smusta ma ki ma ga sino. Mo ka wanskisi mi jet ne waneta ke maskis tik mo wapit. Si san ki ko ya. Ka ki nan ka kwek se te sino ga kai me hatum kai me stamo te sino ga kai sino. Ka wane mo ka sosu tik ya siu kam go. O tu kamgu ati tangu e akstik mamtene tskanwa aksiu kamgu o tu kamgu ke nuka yo ki ko yo kam kai me ha kan hestama tik nakat mamyo pikitai sino awas chaku kat no pikit namyo I cheston timage ston minewe ki pe ai mota ke mustahe e gomina ka ki ko tapon ka kapachitain mo ka yas kiskini ki te ko ya weski ko ka witaman kai kias tin ki tai sino nuksi su ki ko yo he manats kai na to ko ya ki sipapi ki te ko ya kai e mask stay sino kai wa pit kai piweni e kai papi na to ki ko yo he si se ki mi te ma ko ya tane ke ma ga mane gi to gi kwet ma ko man tane ke kai skai tu ta ma no kum na ko ni ki na u samu che u te ni ga ni o ke ki te ko yan ayun ka tis ko no ma ka to cho sim sino me ki te ko yan awas cha kum ka ta ya o ka te u simeno mo te ki te e kwa na me to ki spinem me ki tu ta man e pasta huin Senyo kai te ka ki pasta mawane u cha simsino simin ukska getis na kurtige uksekam chimeta mego no ki ko ki te ko ya ka ukstutam e wa mut ka ukskai tota me ki te ko na I ko chimana nak man ki ko ka ki ke china hwa ke me ko mat chik so ska che ni che tiki ko sino ka ki ukske ta kin ka ki mat tu tas ni ka ki Peri tamago pex no mago ya tanto to en istaya momuskoni gitu ya squachi gi mi mat si kayas mina kai kenna mukni hon ino henna to kum swe pai tskan na to ki goga patake drugs and alcohol kai take kai kenna muk te ka gi smo aya samu skutawi no he ki ye ta ko momuskoni gitu Except ko kamanachi tai kai manachi tai go mom hiki ko ki ichi hono mo ki ko ta ka ki ngano ko mi pikna waswe ki te ko ya so exo mamwe si ke ne ko to a ko mo nya mi ho ne na to ko so pe chana kai te chitman chi sto so na ti to ka chmai ko Notsman gagi smusta mo ni te mai ko ke ko to a nanto ka kwe a askom ka kwe a pa ka we ta ta o ka kwe a ka mat tra was ya wa chu smo e mi ta wa ka cha sim si ka sumi ka cha pa ni ka cha pa ta mi e ki se ta mi ka ma go ta no di sa wi kwa ke nan he ta ka ni ta go te Nuksi kwa ka me mo an mane kwe ne he we ka kyo ngus sa ko dan sa ko ne he we Mine web snamo ka kyo ho ne heo si skeo na six school tai no gis pakin kwa kaya. Kia nom ka ne heo ya kaya kunu ka pachita. Ko ka no smog ya. Ko pigina wa sunik to na ma. Ta tuki ko mat sun yon ke on ka yon ki ko miosik. O tingya. Uksigi page ta ma ko yan. E ka me to ga no he. Si skeo na. Kapin sami. Kaya na to kay sini kaya nung hakapachita ni kita kawiyan. Kasi kaya pitsum tatke te wano mewa. 67 ne wanta tipunan ka sumuhu ka kepe apachitan minipenan pago isimuan. Te pago petke ita tipunya ni kimach pe pago isimuan. Minigi pe pot simuan kaya nusin pot simuan. Ka kyo ne hiyo si tskaw nung paya ito tanong he. Gui tu tahu nusum kaksna pitch kaksna masuk cikin te tu dia sikit ni kita tagik man ini ni yo kita tagik magam stahe ai ma anu cego awas iska gui kaksna mod kan ni yo it samto nim stahe munyau ki gui maguteo tagaya ni nam stahi go ka e no cego sa gu ciwe maga neste gui ga simuts ka wasak na tu ko han ta pasta ko haya ska ste pai chana ni nan himi naga pik swaga naga kiki we ga simo eftene pe maste ke ko sinton tat sa ko chi hono ka e ga simo ska wasa tna tatta ka me munano naga ka ko a ka me mu a kan ma a chipo na chan jo sin sna na ko ma ne swiss to ga e ma ni swiss ta mo ko ka me mu chip Nina mane ki vita ma ko ya kai mansam ke saka so ki am ka kino tane ke ma ka no ko kai ka mansam mane saka sa no seito to mai ito ka machu pigi hum ke saka seito ka ti sigino huma ka ti suita ma ko inki ko kai to te ne yo si skau nan ka apartment Nan he dis mausa kuna manan pics ko nan he kamios ke tan he ta kupita manto ta kupta man ke saka tikinoge egi ko kami ko ka kinogan ke saka si ko ke insta he ki kwa six ke ta manto ekse ko man saman ke saka si to kse oni ta nan ne wam ka ki pex no ma ko into ko nasta nan he ke saka se pui te sta ko te wan hi ka man saka te Nina ka kweta ko pita man dito man kweta ko tam ke saka so kai pui te kai tasta na imam tunik kanam kamam kamana tain dito sik ni na wam Stay ki kai su chwa chni ta ma ka unan mo chik sipan ki we ya chmu sta kwa ko ki ko ni ta ma kwa ko Minaga ki tom ki ko ipun ka sum kwa ko meta ka ki so pe ya ka ki so snik ko ya ka ki sna pe u chik to nengi pe mi chet nan te pe u pe yan aya ko to chik sim sak na pe o ke kwa ya ni so e sko ma ka pe ka na e ki wi chu ta wi ma min sinan Magam sta he ngi pe ya ni nak te ma ko pe kenan ka magi pe o ki ko nan ko ni mi chunan ni na ka ki u tau ya no sta he ki ma chu mana yas mo sok si so ha e psumusa e ko mi na e wa pu so ki ta he o ka te po ko me si se na e ko nan ki ko man ki ma chi to ta me mi chwa Usam pumek sumegis ne hewa chikya ke kakani pekaya. Sampo go ki no chehe okma naya. Ni penayo haya. Sisi pek sisi. Ni kuis machi huako. Ni namagi go uchaya eya. Sno maton ki go uchaya chik. Ay ni chikeon. Ni ki kakoga. nukumak mo exisi musumak. Maka tito ke kia tasko ka kiutau yan tito te residential school. Makam steman kia tu tame kia makekte. Kali katska kuitsa kutska wasta kibo. Samtone ki kwata ki hitske ki mahitsik. Nina muuts pak niitska pukani hewetsik. Sisan ki kwe kimana nanu mats mustago nan mana. Nga wim natsi ukitu teo. Maki pegi osami ki epsis sitesa. Ito. E tatsumu akman. Iksum ka ki mauti ki akum tani ki akamemuts ki kaya ositsik. Kaya sumaya ni ki kuna nage kwe pani kwa kako ki Iksum usam puhuin tu yasumi ki utspani kwa ako. Ego ka piki ta ko itsa kaskiseko keksi soka. Napata we ki piki tatska. Kani peko megunan hema tastatske komine ki mausu tikman pawiche wako. Intanso tikno kumnana kungawi. Oasa keksisa. Tagwenna no himin san. Tagwenna nan himin mani kiye. Sikoha kutse sikotaha kutse sinya. Egunan heka ke mewicha mista nanuksame tapia kanhe. Asinya kangen na paks chike wapegen chimna ke tagwennya. Egunan heke gomo istashe ke taswe kanaske chike wa. Ego tan he pa tiguna makan heke te pasa makan he tagwennan. Ego nan ka pas tege wegne wanne peke swata chike go maskimuti. Egunan he goma wei chigo mae peponi gan he gunan he go kamami chi gan pepoke. Pego nexin an himincha. Egom nasko ki kaskapskaha kip namana. Egunan he. Wei tatskum ka pepo. Egom maki goi suci tago nakayasaya. Tasku chuhae tagaya. Kako tita inki ko yung yasuksis ko kiyay ma. Nusiman wewiti mi kakatsi manayam. Wati kanigita ko kiptima no yasikipsa wekuta manaka kaksinakam makay kamayastek. Iko yaksi sumanigi swawapamak mani tutapik. Kay kamayastek yasam yakominigi kakeo mana. Tam naman ang gikinis na mo ko kaya no kumakukan gawi. Nakakeo ko kaya man witimi. Nang paiwi kasigan kakeo kakagis. Tanego kakaspage. Inim ne ko mananhi. Ekunim naman ikiusita kiway kanak. Kakakunan he kagis paste kan mabuyas. Iway kanak ekunim nanhe maskimuti kikiaso hatsikman. Iway kanan. Ego tikma nang him naginos chimich nan mana michma pusi tachkam mai. Yasam magagisay pastek. Manigo ki swache kiwi kachiko makasti go nosu. Muitas kucha nuche gumay na toki go munyawa ga micha. Kayas muchim yuchak sui kachaisino yaksumigi machot. Kapag skisyan siwi kats kapeyak si muy kats usi wenga no chayaw. Mun nawi katsik manchuso chimuko na tu kaksunong kap makote ko he. Magiwag si san hikiwag si simago yata po yagagi musumyan. Kiyat sumukono kumaya. Mistam katako kute kaksun ka mestiho ito. Como me gots pegum kap makote gum maganete awas PM me gunstame se toak negi makote. Ika kwechima ok manogan musumug no kumak tansum mekspi. Kai tek managi nestine. Kiwa magagia pachita ekspi. O no se kat mustat nito. Uguma winche sipni. Uguma gie waya. Na toa puka no haya. Ito kema nakani pihum kakipan. Ni mas kwekman kanan to nata mano heko no haya. Maskikia. Ekunan himanet kwem nan higi mo titats magekunan hesam ektame kina kekunoma. Ekunoha aya. Ninjwe sit mi ekwe kwa mekwe shamane ki mi kwetik. Ekwe ke gomne ki ene ha kitoke ki ka ki semu ha kitoke. Ekse amakai kita tuta kama sun kayas. Isa. Anut kawap mataisi no to asewa pakto ki nagatasketo. Mi kuti ki sakas kine paini kutami kito. Iki kimpai kuchito. Ekwe sana ka ki umusumyane ki mstukunapeut. Ekwe samane ki usi tatan hitang ay sino ka swahi chikman kan pichik. Stukuatan he. Eksekte samane kya kwe ta usima chikan hi samsta he nagataskech kay sinwak. Eksama nansi ka samak sun dito gigit mamanatagukan ma. Saman ni Joyce sa wewitimi kaya kutats kamaka kaswema kwa kama ka amaya akso na meseki tas bukas tema ka ikito chikmana. Eksano chukwa manim chimeiten eknan kiko yan ganuiten. Nda pachita moha ako nda simsak nung simakmam na hawakan hekun kiko mamekwats. Ngwen chimeiten kiko kakipeks na makawian. Kiko yo hepsisin tatasuks na moha nda simsak nung simsak ko apsis so yapits. Magung nda simsak ko kumanya kang makakwek nita moats na moats yung kiko yo he. Maganut stomero kap muhte akong matsun muke tiki ay makite tamano may swapa taman. Nstay na tuki ko ispike na tuki ko magutege makskuya sa utas pun ka tite ko akong mens te ko mita kay sika te ko ma. Kapeta ko utet spiuksas pinumagi ko yo haya na tuki ko ikipe wesimat na hiyo. Sneyo pisto piso meksego tisip macho ke munyawa chowo. Munyaw piso munyaw pustay winsana no ba yung kita tisi hunano. Maman sa mo kwesta ka sok sis na to kigo tute no. E pa no chego. Na to ni nagnichi na no kigo ta sinano. Ta skuts ne kon siyong ganas pinane konista. Kay nisto me kwet ni chaman ka gipis mit so kayas. Scope work ni mami chinan he kun ki ko yan ha ne he ki ko yan he. Nagaya tunay manong mai mat so no mi ta ka mo ya ne ko chawas sa ko buskaya.
Tapoy, Tina.
Mi chete wan si ka.
Tina. Ja. Den kina naskum tino maya. Pegun tapskutsa ja kai speakskuina ja. Kakiu kaujan, kakiu kumian. Yksi manigi speakskuit sinne ja. Tinne ja. Tin suuskaatskinna naskumtin. Ja hai kitten. Tapoy, tinne ja. Mihta ten, mihtset uskaja, kain stuhtaakin ne hieue.
Ja.
Kan tuhtask. Kikoi miasek, kipiksku unoma.
Ja.
Kai se pehtämään oa.
Ja.
Kans tuhtama onkaan ne hieue. So ja, ngawittamo aaptama ja ei pomahtaessa kispen kiikoi ja. Nantun kiika puto kiikoika kuitsimek. Yksi ettukö?
Tina Benson kipihta unchi. Ja piegi ko inohti ka kuitsimittään ne ko tando kohittu kuittaki ei mittottaman tando hittuitaki vihtamoin mäga ja kimiskuttaman nämä ja päästahoin. Mä tiedän kun nämä kiäpitsi nohtiin stohtamaan niin pihtiin uitamaan nohtiin istnän tuoma kohtia niin miskutsi käyttiin mäga ja kiikättää kuikoiskin stohtamaan napsista jokakin aiemmin tutsasin.
Apsis nga kiai mu tena ya tena mista iski ko ya isan he kwa na mamu seuko. Ka pasta hoku maya mweni ste utin stuta manu me peu kikian ma ka pise kwa ngetin stuta mui kwa kukin. Nigi kwa minaya no kumo nemu so me psise. Eksuma muchi mo yekuma apua nutum ka gis ka ku skaya mo me sketa ki wan pasta kun. Ekse kwa ka a pumunia wa me hauno masinwi o si katamo. Mas nai ka te wan he kai kai tu ta manu ki ko ya kai kan pa hata ya kai ka mai tu to. Ka kyo he kunan he ta mas nai ka te wa. Ma ke kom na ne hi ka ne ya kum ki sta non he kun kin stu ta mo ko pe ten no ka ki pe ta ko chik. Ka pasta ho ki ko ya kunan to si chike ni ki ko kai mios. Ta skut sa ngai to na ya. A tito ke ngai ton macaya ki ko ya ta si ka mo. A kuchin pa he o kui chai si ni o chiki ko e. Kung pasta hun. A kuchi mi nao ya e pa pe hat ki pasta hun to. A kuchi mi ne tima hata ya. O kaya. Ta skut o kaya. Psisko. E pasta hun mi ne o ko. A kiki ko he kwese na katuke. Ka ki pasta hona koi si basic to tatai sino tia ko a wia ko na to ke ta e mata ki westain ki to ni ko te ki mata wi ko ya ko ska pix ko ya se ko ni che to ya kum ki ko ka ki pasta hona no ne sa po ko kam ko ke ta mi ko manatsi ta wi ka ni che
Aya,
Tama ko pasta ko ti wait ta tik mi na pachita ko big spoon o chineon. E ko mi na pe ko nam pasta on o chine. I spine sepsis kuna to ki tuta wa ka ki tuta wa. Eksik to chinan. Eksik ska ki ganan mapuchi tosin ska ki pasta ha. Ska ki spai ko. Eksik tas ko chan ma.
aya, Tina aya, kottaga kuitsimit na squaya chomagawi kuitsimitan pitama, mitan chima na kohchipihtawa o kihtiayak, tää totta, tää skutsawa muniau, aliens, star people, aya, ikottuachigi kwa Tansi nihidawisin stohta ikottuaki kwa awiya kuidanigi ja chamusta kottak nihidau ihi ayakanama ja tää skutsani ohtettawi tää puhtamaka ja kottagagnan tawita awiyakagi ja chako mis mehoti like the star people or aliens mana kisideka that munia kidamaga ja monna kochipihtingi kwa ikotiittihi.
Ego pukuman gipeka gipewi tamaga uyan ni negutuik ni tu taiga unaya. Isika teksa chikan. Teksa tami. Spear chip te pituwe chika tayuka naksika swak. Ego taki kwe mi nakaki kwe chima o pewi tamaski. Ego nipukan hika gipeks na maga uyan. Maga uyu ke alien so eksiski kwe muye kunika tutse wawitamo. Muchai mucha mogegune.
Okay. Negoshima ya thank you. Tama.
Yeah. Hi.
Thank you, Tina Benson. Those words that you shared were very wonderful. It was great. It was just wonderful listening to you. I could sit here and listen to you all day if I could. You shared some very special knowledge, wisdom, and to be able to share with that through the English language. Some of that is it would be a little bit difficult, but for the people that don't speak the Cree language, for them to really thoroughly understand, especially with the ceremonial ways. I grew up that way, and I can certainly relate to what you're saying. growing up through the ceremonial ways, knowing your traditional values and meanings and all that kind of stuff is very, very, it could be very in depth. It could be very intense. And, you know, following that way of life, I say it for myself and my family it's just wonderful. Because like I said, not only do you know, but it shapes who you are. It corrects who you are to be able to live that good life, to be able to
Excuse me. One thing I was taught growing up, for the listeners, this whole spiritual thing, kamanachita. Number one, kamanachita. Iko minaya kagawin stuhtami. Stuhtama une ko kaitami. Like, first of all, manachita, respect it. Kan stuhtami, to understand it. You know, I was brought up to believe that kaigi kwe kanahni kan paihui, not to go for it till you really understand it, and then you can show respect for it. Because, you know, the spiritual world, it's something that you cannot play around with. Like with Tina, when Tina Benson said, "Pastahun," you know, that's the greatest fear Nehio has, kapastahat, to their family, to hurt their family, like their kids, their grandchildren, their siblings, you know, all their family. That's what I was brought up to believe in, yeah, and a lot of other people, I suppose, too. You know, there's two words. I had to ask my kukum. Pasta hunuma, it refers to humans. Not to hurt the humans, your fellow human. Because if you hurt them in any shape, way, or form, it will come back to you. Maybe not to you directly, but to your family. And that was really drilled into us. And the other one is uhtinewin, that referred to the animal world, to the living world outside. Like everything we had to show respect for it. Kamanatsita, to show respect. So even for kids to start chopping down trees for no reason, those are living things. Like to go out and kill an animal just for kunta, for sport, that's uchinewin. You know, that person who does that, you know, they pay for it, maybe not to you directly, but to your family, maybe in the future somehow. So I wanted to put that in there for those that can understand what I'm trying to say. Kinsto tensi able.
Ninstohtina ko siagitna ko ninstohtina ma siagitna ko tsaka so ginaskumitna ko na ayakutagi ko amin nila ya ittahimi dohtawaga ya kiitu ya Tina Benson ya komakaya miha or kaki simua whatever kidawa gituig igata wanigiskisia kaniganta ya kagitmagistik the destitute, the sick. Maybe somebody's suffering from mental illness. Maybe the people that are in jail. Now to be selfish, more than na po kutamam to need them so tayo mistama so kutahan mi dokta giyago nama. Iwanist akutag mi dagi ko ka miskota kaya mi akoma. Tapuya, Yigataka Kidaskia, Yaguanamaya, over the years from Makapiatuskia and radio, Piwahuitamago in Manasco, a Swedish Tatansigituin, Nakatili Tatansigituin, Kisayamin, Yigagidasco in Tapachita, and especially Manohota, these Coapatina Augusta, these commercials. All applications will be accepted, gising into with about Tapanas. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be approved. They'll be accepted, maybe in red, you know. So we got to be careful. not to manipulate kami lagu isya ko mayamuin wa wischini hidawiwin. Ikusani is minaya the late Fred Sasaka Musman igi acha mustawit man on radio inni hidawit. Kimi duidih tamtani hidawit. Iguahi Twitter ma igi tweet manayak atih to magiguay kacha mustatan mihchit mani pinas chako ko moniaw media utachimu agogo the mainstream media pinat te gwagit umaga atih ki gwa kacha mustatan moda widan kacha mustawag wida ka ni hidawi yakoma tas kuch na what's kattawa hitu and tas kuch it's kinder so I am stahima na kita mustat need to so yeah so I can empogaya we have to be careful with the language you got it pakachima ko yak tagidaskima puito gimini ko na maya madama ka pastaho if we hurt somebody with words with our words especially young people kawidaya pomatanik kawidaya takiskatanik like guyoh pinatanik kusibitama.
Just before we move on to the next speaker, I just want to quickly address on, I think it was Winston Watney, what he had shared there. There seems to be so much to share. We need to do this more than 3 days. We need to do this once a week before all elders' stories are gone. That is so true. Thank you for posting that, Winston, because I felt like 3 days, wow, to try and take in all this information and all this sharing of the knowledge and the language and everything from the elders. Like, it is so limited. It is so, but there again, we're doing the best of our ability with what we can to at least let the younger generation know about this story sharing and all the importance that goes along with it. Those are all valuable teachings. Thank you for sharing that, Winston. Hey, Brenda.
So our next person on the list is Maggie Catan, and Uta knew she's from here. She's a great little old lady, as Miteto said, and kahyo kiso pigi hato simsa I want to simamina. So so kapeha no Miss Maggie Catan. Yamalay. Nita tameto go bingo samge o tengatek. Hello?
1 second.
Big second.
Big second. Hey, Tansi, Maggie.
Good.
Oh, Nia Brenda.
Yeah.
Yes, kaya mes ko sa kapik squeen, kachimuin, kachimsween, spia. Kachimsun spia.
Tansi patient too, yeah.
So I'll get Abel Charles to take over pitama. Okay.
So Maggie Cathand kipita winchi.
Oh yes.
Mahtacha mustawinan tantaho migi piochoh pegin.
Oh, Sampoy with Fresno, Alberta. Alberta. Paul Banriser. William Burns Tikishila, so my stepdad.
Dan sema kagi isayak matsu ni piawa siwin pitoschi mina nochoma ya.
Oh yes. Chipitos.
Yo kumaga ato tiago.
Kasi way taskuta ya Alberta man na kia. Dipakto at Gobmon Lake. Kaya na yewe hati apuchiga Simon.
Kagi ni hiloan apuito kas kami nagagayagada Simon na po.
At instuta sa Pinoche. kaya mainstun tunin stutamo.
O tamaga o ya ka to istamagi o kagini hilloan ko haya Tina bo paga kama gitu istamagi to tahawin to tas kaya kwanta taga dasi bumisawat.
Aha. Aya manet tegi pagtahot. Kumani di paimam sikit chikuno shawe gutte. Ego anu chewe jampa tisi chikwaya. Kuno shaw. Ego mana saka mane kito wiki ane there Drayton Valley, Violet Grove, Lodge Pole. Wiki tamana tente gitmata. Ego Syrian. Ya mana ya. Ego mana kuna tiskiyane ya chika pakon gamgo. Aya mana ya tas kutsaya. Ego ya kasapu ko bonsia. I used to protect the tent. That's called something like a knee glue at the gun was a sheet. A woman of sticks to the ice. I don't know how it works. Maga tui mane ki wikia, ko mane te kia. Saka manani na ne ki wikia ne kupita mane ki ni ngoya ka asumi se tu uchista ko se ke paisa. Ako ko mane ki Eki bachi chikman express kaya. Ataya. Per. Eki sunyagata chikman. Jordan Valley man eki swastay William Burns tigo. Yo chawisyan. Ewa man tinita tayo ko. Magawi tugi ko me wat muyo tugi ko yo ikanostento tame wat. Ako ko manaya. Eki aya. Eki machi chikman no na by the river man o sample well river ne te wiki man o man te yeah before mina fall man if you see that the log house everything was log house puki we one man that moss and they shake we ha man to keep that log house one naga man as coming off making to at school, so Drayton Valley, but that's the man that upon Gumbo, the weekend. So, he said to one ever say that I'm just to go. For she would I said that, yeah, and man. I've seen this big sky, and no one discussion. I will go. You see, no one that we take you power, we get my magic. It was squirrels, best shipping by whom they took. Ito pinakamuya voice kasi kita kuno. And the woman that they used to put the snares in the bush. Ako naman na yung stay with it short. Ako sa man ni step te wa siya ako taman na kaya patcha ni ko kita swan. Kaya man
Maggie ayako miittu ina kaya timanigi missigitsigi nussiogi kohan nutsiko ja siis sitsigi tihtatan tänne himagittu kannegi kohta siis sitsigi ko.
Aya, hope millet they get that. This must have been about 8 or 10. I guess that the hope millet chagaigan. Tungin tangus kita get job shown. Don't you want that boy that fit on your hand they go pieces to so go whitefish. You have about 2 meals out of one. I know they're going to put together for a fish for Bergacino. I must have more Gacino. If you job match to go we store now. Lake home on it, we start in my stone get to meet you now. Muyashima, Miss Stone, more to go. No, sure. I know it's to go more. I went there with a more cocky with the Nelson. Some East and I am Jamago Pigia. I mean, my eye. He's been over where I teach mechanics now, actually, boarding school, yay home. Edmonton, boarding school. Ja kuten on minunkin peksnoa maksan minun teman kaikki pesvainia. Kuten on summertime nesta pickets. Ikitira. Ai sino. Amo kiwega pitos. Kiwega pitos sitauga kiwega. Peswaichi paida.
Aya Tina aya kuma ya kitaya muin no man ni hiduwi na ya kagi paspihta Nancy tikapihta kon shirti etnigan.
Are you talking to Maggie or myself?
Maggie, yeah. Did I say Tina?
Yeah.
Abel, I got that, Tina.
Mucho menan penta.
Kai kuitsima samina Abel.
Maggie, aya
Mui kiane kuitsimski koi.
aya kane maya oma kitaya muin no ni hiduwi no makapachihta akmi kwach. Kitapihta kon kitapatan shirti etnigan. It's gonna survive.
Aga memu aga te asumsio ko simna Japan no tutaya. Maga ise ko hiyo ama nagasimo. That's what near my kids. Nustuta ko maga ko muye. Agasimo guys. When they answer me, after Australia, we check the us because once my taga penye hiyo to talk my kids. The bigger ones are toga. No, the old younger ones, they don't seem to want to listen. But my kids, I don't think they understand English. I agree. I have she's for them. She's. I go into now, but I'm still talking about I wonder, kaya man, I don't so make everything is easy. I don't say with the guy on sky caps to go, so don't go it.
Da puesto que. Kapea, tenga, kapea mi kuussa kauti.
I know. I mean, no, that's the key, my night. The key, my night, Messiah. That goes so me on this woman again. Panachi Taman in the summertime, well, I will remind the guy people have a man. I see no the banana that my but because they wouldn't come and help them clean it. I know they right, it's got to go. Sky guy. Butter split tactics. Akigo is so easy today, guys. Akigo had the whole water. I suppose maybe a mile we had the whole water. Half a mile. Good water, I guess, you know, they mini one. I know everything is so easy.
Maggie, I squat. I'm gonna quichimit no more the squat needed. Got out check or Brenda Kigaya make Magaya. Tiga quichimit no my kaya chima na kwa isigi wa huichi hito nano. People would help each other.
Yeah, we keep of that, you know. Iga daya. No woman gives it a very big garden. Well, woman, what she couldn't put away. Ki tell man this whole asohnamakitah garden. I know they were more about if you could garden there as peaceful. Oh, we have see that grass me next to give you know, start canning like a muggy works beer. A muggy works beer fridges you go. You have to can everything. He allows your grass cook. He's the no mego. Gitim na guys ko ya. Pero nagtagis na may kete mo kete ko mo ko garden tapos itaw. Actually natin I'm bored dog man. There's lots of things we can do. Taskutamani muevo kaskita mistä tapugi voi katuutamaan häntä. Mistä mä kuihon naat räidössä. Saamme työä, mistä ei ketuskevut. Anu tega kettiusia voi. Aki voi atuissa. Kakutta koapinnia. Ei kakutta koapinnia.
Ja, Maggie.
Aha.
Ja, ikin tawim tanoma ja. Kachim swin. Ispi. I think man, ja uskiniks kue wakune. Mui mana tiisotsek.
I know.
Ja. Kawihta muotsek. Kawihta muotsek om tanssi. Ja uskiniks koutsek. Kia nooma ja. Pihtus. Egi pevihtamaa kaujaga ma tiiso angaus niks kuja.
Joo.
Ei kun mä en tauemtaan kawihta muots tanssigi egi peisi vihtamaa kauin. Keisi ma tiisuin just niks kuin. Spösli oma meega se epepo, että tahkajaak. Ja tiedman vaapa uski niks kookintane ja.
Ei.
Muguis egi sun sotsega. Ei kun mä pakseimtaan kawihta muots kuski niks kook tansse keisa ma naats pamiso tjum ka pepoma.
Summertime ina pegon.
Ja.
Kas imanatso kehtesko ivitamagunan kehtesko man gawi minaman kehtamagunan nakatugatso ovia makusigun taksun gawi ai stamsa taki sopeketus niksko kajas mo child they was kept at home. Stayed in a bedroom. Kami na pugitan. Kawi pachita chikutan so kai pugita ka. Mimi nan kigo. Kawawe kinaki. Kanat no. That's good in the garbage. Kai go pasta. Oh God. That's what I seems to. You know, I succeeded. Squisha go give pasta kakaki tom go chimbo. Pasta go give kita un chapu pata. Peas gito na nina. Mayoga takso ne go pati time tayunsa. Semat sigbegin naman a special pale kaya sigbegin naman kaki kaya no magtakso. Kabanati isot minus nipsko. Misjet, they had a lot of cramps. Yeah, sky come soon or we are. Ewa manati tin paistawan it. Usaman mo manati tat kuyawa. Yeah, so yung matas ko skate mo dance we kaya to talk soon. The guy, the cleaner like to have a shower or bath. Kaya real man again was you had to hand wash. There were one note was next school more to the mum. Next she picks to run it to make why actually why we all up on to we know fucking go on Nina next. At done note next school gun and placed on it and Gucci cramps sky at it. Eggy caught them so. Apo kaya pitsi naisino kaki kotem suya. Apo mi skok mi naga kiso chasim chikaksim nang mo manati sor. Ego ko mana ako chiga ako sigmuga temi macho chik. Muni nanuk si fucking gona na po man yo mo do kaya mugat kunta testuanyan. Isnga testuanyan. E mana kasi kwan. Wash my face, or I'll just go in the shower. My headache goes away. Muy gunto gat that is the one, and then home puni stumman die. I try to see your mama we kwan. Magagwanan mo sneaks ko kakwinchimita kunta ewanina muy spakngona nanto kaya tuhta gisnuma daksunan kaya ego kito mana samani kito tago ya tato sketch pognis na ay isopikit magitans kaya ay to sketch kaya pit manan to kito Taksana medyo macho nani. Taksamani itamo ko ga no sumak dan sak chikaw utusnik ko mo. Ega ko achi. Anan to ga tuti ka I mean mama mi chet no sniks ko mo di we manachita. Mo sniks ko mina pa pichia kuchina to ga ne yogi we ta hamba po pa mo apuchi mine ya next season ikiwa ne hiyo kiwa ati po mane te to te muy ni na yo tro na mana gas tau gati te to te an muy skate no na that's what how that not say mana o yo maya ay to condemn them like apuituan na inistan kamay tuto kutagan like sumanikit at sikas magsimula nina tunus ngona do katek tukta ito chingona na may chate tan taxonomy pawis mo tega raw ito te ipit itichigmanus nikskok ano siya mo kiwa manachita uskai yes long there in the public it we might so say game shot na magita maganimit na no kita ko naman no siya ko magiwa sisigay and at ito man is kanihiyo kita like to condemn a person in some way like putuan na no sky and nagandam putuan ng so na chita and kito man ay kana kam so na chita ano ay singing that's where me goes kanitan gam Semana kita ko man manati ta kana to ay to semana kita ko ya ni naman sneaks ko kayo ano smuli kayo scratch wait ito to kayo kaya kay school chik psikologista actually ikoy na uto ko chimini kaskita go itama
Kinanaskom tin mamegi. Kaya kay sito inoma. Tinne kita pon. Ay pihtos gonus kiniksko kes pihtos suas kawitsik.
Eksamaman kaita ni ama nugun ko ta mo. Ay ko na tutech.
Tapos
ita eni hioi toki ko. Apo wi ko to. Ito ho na ka puta ka ko peto te ka puta. Sai ko tu chi wen tawag man na. Nus magdanjak.
Eksam nyasen. Aya. Awek Tina Bull.
Yeah. Maggie, kinanaskom nan sa Peaks Queen. Isa to taman eguno matapuya. It's a value. It's a very shared value that the younger generation that need to know today, especially the female, just like what you're saying, they need to really take good care of themselves before they do attend a ceremony, especially if the time is not right for them. And that is a true fact that I have to say for a lot of the younger generation, they don't know that today. They do just yeah, the egomaga, that's a true fact. Yeah.
I can't say my kids are perfect, but
Mm.
I try to tell them the right things the right way. It's kaskitan.
Mhm. And that has to do with a lot of the young people too. A lot of the younger generation, they don't they don't listen.
Yeah.
You know, they're not disciplined in the way that what it used to be before.
Mm-hmm.
Today it's a lot different. But we thank you very much for your very strong message to the
Thank
younger
you.
generation that don't understand. There
Mm-hmm.
is, especially for the younger women, to be careful out
Mm-hmm.
there for your body, your mind, and
Yeah.
everything like that when you're
And
gonna
someone needs to take it.
when they're gonna attend ceremonies. Hi,
Yeah.
Hey,
Abel.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Maggie Catan. Nanashkomal. Thank you very much. I was just jotting down here some of the topics we have covered in the past 2 hours, and they are very important topics we have covered in the Cree language and the English language, such as respect. Istidimittuit, istidimitetään, takistidimittuahoma, takistidimähpauskuiok, takistidimähpaukihtiejä, kahkilau, takistidimittua katsitniuja, miinaja piskuak, stidimätänik miini jagunika ja so jagun nuomi kohminaja kaki simuin or prayer. We've talked about prayer and how important that is. We have talked about generosity. Ki ay tagiwat sa toy igata manachik chigin, but to be generous. We talked about child rearing. How important that is. We talked about being patient and having perseverance at the CP dihtaman. Igata pagitsin. We talked about that. We talked about the language and how important it is to tell the truth and not to manipulate language. We talked about that, and also somebody talked about hair and how important for that to let it grow. In some, for those that wanna, accept that, it's important and what it means, why it is important to grow the hair. We learned about that, and we talked about, like Tina said, about the health and for young girls to look after themselves. That is very important. We talked about different food and also kinship terms. We talked about wakutuin, tansigi suakumittua, to be careful with that as well. And I guess maybe we'll hear somebody, but also dating violence. I have a little bit of training in that to give teenagers some workshops or something about dating violence or relationship violence, healthy relationship. That is also important, and we talked about ceremony. So we've covered a lot of topics so far, and we need to continue talking about these in the coming couple of days. So go ahead, Brenda.
yes, Tapwe Abel, kamun kamam skutaman all these words on there. Respect, kinship, good child rearing. In our language, there was this guy on the screen. I want to know who that is. You got that right, Terentius, Mateus, Sewaham, Dandeu Tuhten, Dandeu Chin. I want to know that. If you can answer that. But anyways, all those words in there, kinship, wakuhtuin, staytuin, respect. Those are all those, in English, they're called values. Okay? Ispe, epe, aisiniu yaumut askiuma. Igipexnamagawia. As soon as epe nitaugia, that word obedience, na naihtamun. As soon as us was pisunige soikoya, that's the first thing I was taught to us was na naihtamun, obedience, kapachita, kihto gano, kihto mitogaya, ego miskisagwa. Kagyo kumian man nege, kagyo kawa nege tets. Ego tawino agi mis nisum skisagwa, ego nisum mitogaya. Ykse, pues, kantuhtaman, tapin. Ego peg mitunpugo. You know, Abel, all these values, they are taught with each stage of our lives. And, but they're big, how would I say, they're emsage, like there's lots to teach in those areas. Like respect, stay doing. It's not, the first thing you have to do is respect yourself.
Yeah.
Pegoma, egimis, matsun kuhtawino. The Creator gave us one life, one body, and we have to respect that first. You know, that's, let me get off topic with Samina, Maggie. You know, uskayak manune, they think life is, you know, like they think life is easy. You know, I'll give you a little story. No kumawa. You know, wawi patsama negi egagi musumia negi ni chueta paswa. And I remember this one time. No kumaw. No samak. Tusata week. You know, tapa na skuma. Ekse, ektegi nima. I always remember that. I remember that time. All of us got into the wagon and we went for a long drive down the hill. And there's a graveyard in Sweetgrass down the hill in the sand dunes. Egwe mengani ka tegama timaksun. You know, that graveyard there was a fence around it. Since there are some of our relatives that are buried there. Hasta mego te nosemak. We all stood against this one. There was a fence. It was on the west side. Tapatamo. No, kuma. My grandma, no, kuma, look. And on the outside of the fence, there was one grave. And I wondered, Nugum. I asked Nguichima, Nugum. Taniga mekte, witima igas. I said, why is that grave outside the graveyard? Nussim. Tohta. Nussimak, he said. Kuitamat na, taniga otaka, says, I'll tell you why this grave is outside. Egi ut nawa, uskai, upmatsun. Egi giskinamasut. Kuhtje witimai kupmse. Muekia. Kakiutnaman kipmatsun. Kuhtawi no nawia. The Creator is the only one that can take your life. So, you know, that was a lesson in itself. No, come wanted us to know that the Creator gave us life. Creator is the only one that can take your life. That's that word, pastahun. When you take your life, pastahun. Tansi gipe te nego Maggie.
Ja, gipe te nenu. Mana kaasa samiki tutak. Mr. Almina Red President. Maga is kaas muaks no skapekiskisiane o asian. Muagat no pekskete no exam the tutasota. No marchon. Lately on Motaka agakset kispike. Igo skago Mr. Nano Muta. Hector no mo Atama nevi tamo kuskai Mr. Pixway hoy anman na. Nantoman ga Pixway hoy and we tamo man uskai you know, we only have one life and God is the one that takes us home. Nagsumanita my kitchen naman tutak. Pero pugap matcha pero mina pugapin at man tuitak man. Escucho como minuma action. Ipea tu chigato. Ite action da tagupai. Tornichete swasaka kute gomaski win chawada chigochi. Ego ma to gomo maka. Me gocho maga magui huevo. We time taga short. Agame muerto vision there's nothing left. So skesta man istamento amihan. Eva vision ustamoko was mino action mananto up with skaka. But here I don't know if they'll find it though. I said they were skill in my week. Well, how do they know the second coming what third coming mean? They do it. We are the papa na kung don't get to be broken don man. It's handmade at the woman done. Why would they know the first and the second? Now they say it's going to be the third. It's them gear they there and then we are the guy will be my way watching. Well, they were all ages say, oh, mego. We would go for my way or get to me now. Go sky. Us. With the girl, never keep them on near it or not with the work to us. So we all got naga for my mouth with extra. I told the fire program to the screen. So I was told there was the notion.
Maggie, except the Masamaya, Kutakia Petsa, the beach with the Kintina Skumten.
Yeah.
I
That's the one is the guy at the way me.
Yeah. George Tom. The beach one mina. Eva. Exinia.
Ja, pitäkö minuutti atsotsassia ja chimuina ja ikinä kiskauakawa ja kada mä moo puini kada conference au pitäkö ja no choki amne kiitos ja puhutti otsi sipsaaga hegenik from Duck Lake. Ja kohuistoma ja kita kohuista ja toska takomani hiduinta kuikittiin dihtamakta kui mennä chihtää ja kun he kun siirtyi tuomaan ja nui osse menomittu nui pukispio ma tosse mian ja kun spiwi dihtaa oikein nossem kun siirama kun ne kiitohtaan ja kun niitä nekä ne tahkun nau nossem ja kun nekä ni hidui mutottavaa ja kun tämä on tjenstama ja muin kaavi pihtaa niitä oikein no osse nossem niikään mä oon tapihtam ni hidui kun tautsin kätte kuikiskin no hamuaa ja tohpekitsigi tytönä suonigi bitohtaa on nemekaki sekin tapahtaa kuista no ja kapista assana pipis ja kun tämä on tjenstama tapihtaa ja muin niitä oikein. So anyway, let me say that in English as best as I can. I met an elder from Duck Lake Beardies, and what she said was, "I'm going to have a grandchild, and what I'm going to do when that grandchild of mine is born, I'm going to be at the hospital when my grandchild is born, and I'm going to be the first one to hold her or him." And I'm going to talk to him in the Cree language. That is the first language that my grandchild will hear is the Cree language. And from there on, I will try my best to take on my grandmother role and teach my grandchild the Cree language as she's growing up. So that was kind of I like to hear that. Like, I mean, it was quite a perspective. Now, let me tell you another story here, and I'm going to probably do this in Cree and English as well. When I was in high school, I hadn't decided what I really wanted to do in life. And I thought I'd seek the advice of an elder. So I went to my grandfather and asked him, I'm thinking of maybe going into broadcasting, but I'm not sure whether I'm going to go into radio or I'm going to go to television, but I do want to tell the news, the weather, the sports. I want to be able to tell stories in media, in some form of a broadcast media. I'm not sure if it's going to be radio or television, I told him. And he said, my grandchild, I strongly advise you, I implore you, do not go into television. You don't have the looks for television. I don't think people would want to sit down and watch you. Go into radio. That's there they can't see you. Anyway, so I'm in radio, but here I am in the podcast. I don't know what I'm doing here, but anyway, Brenda, go ahead.
Yeah. So New York September and Nastina Nanto
No, we shall move on.
Okay, Xamaga, thank you, Maggie. Gentaminan, a big screen. So talk to you next time, and we'll move on to our next speaker, which is Sylvia Watney. I was talking to her tipsko, pegitos tipsko. I'm hoping she'll tell this one little story she was talking to me about, kind of made me laugh. So while we're waiting for her to come on, I'll quickly tell you a little story about myself. I grew up in a family. There's 5 of us in Nyanya.
You blew up?
I blew up. I got 4 brothers. So I was kind of like the slave to my brothers. So, but anyways, because my older brother, he really didn't, because of the respect, I didn't really play with him. I didn't play with him because he was the oldest brother. Anyways, and see him second insto. Is she on? Hey, hi, Sylvia.
Yeah, I'm on. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, who is this?
Brenda, yeah.
Oh, Brenda.
Yes, but
Okay.
anyways, we'll give you time, Timuin, and don't forget to tell your little story about that one that Gapapyandipsko.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I will.
Okay, you'll go right ahead and big square, and then we'll have some people like Abel, whoever, will ask you questions. Okay?
Oh,
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Tansi, Sylvia Watney and Chigason. I used to behave kamixit. I mean, a man ate a mokaya, behave kamixit. Miss
Mixochi.
Because our reserve is located in the Eagle Hills. Behave kamixit in Guinea Taugen. Nima Nutawi Nehio. Treaty from Red Pheasant, Nimama Apito Sansko. Kapel Pigiano Sampogungi Nehiwanan, Isnimusomgi, Wichamgonan, Egomot Nita Gasimo. Atuyamanasko in Giagasimonan. Nima Mama Natiski Pixko, Mitchef, Ice Mishet, the Wako Magana, Giao, Tomakaki, Wikiakaya. Pritchard Sangik, I will feel Kaishika taken ma. Peo Pigian Nikisin, Taniquaski Nakatoka Tequaco, Tetea. It was really, we were raised by the community of elders. Eki Keskim Guaco, Eki, no magua of Tansica is no swap, Tansica is Pagois Canicia, Egomina Tansi, Kaisimusagana Mark Maskikia, Ekisian Manaya, the Musoman, his sister, Alan Sapo, Wakaki, Pigi, Dokuma, Maggie Sonia. I am an equipan with Chewa, Musakina, Maskikia, Begum, Tata Musigan, Egokiskone, Kastainiki, Tatamwin. I am Nuta Wiki, Nitak Tuschigel. I fiddle Magaisika take. Gimutigita, Lanmanaka, Gia, nimituna. Big manuma was sky gantan manaka yon haya furniture egi corner egi spita after got dance egi ha ko magi we got mini ko nak to chita gon ego tato I megi sigao nikia ya tutanan aya egin to hay ma stahaya ego magi ki seta mok ni giguk kikantu hay ma ka every Sunday. Ego man up speak pogum Mr. Tuchin say geeks kama little hats. Ego man egi we sita with flowers and trito man and gina nice kenan. Ano to man ni mam to ni mama. Ano to makatips kam. Ego 101 kay tatop puneo. Ego kawani hawk last year, August 2019, 5 months before she would have turned 100. Ego jaya anus kay speaks kuano mamsta heto engay mo mao ni kawi. Egia kaituan eki apito ko sanskot mage ko eki mexquewe met eki te go tomoso makagyo pigigot aski chuka unape men muy kat kaktimakso kichasim sa kusimak druma pito ko sanak ninanik timak siak magi goita oskanisiak. They had no land epse no ni mama 17 etatupunet alma January 19th, 1937. January 25th, Nutauya kagistiwigimat. 40 years egiwigitutik. Egi mexquerimit. It was an arranged marriage. We got snima maito to me tata. Ice Moya ndokskate nani speaka wikito acto magego matu cha simsia peptewa. That's when our marriage turned into love. Into wait the maki snisia kwes go bigi ha go cha simsinana. Nima maki saki tao. I behoka mixed reserve. Equa Ispego nakatekoa eptengin to nainanan kwaya aya ngisin ni mama ay maneki pegyo ko eko maneki a bit in my big chair we kia hachmo tapuchi mana we to make ginto up nan kaksite gap tamana ni ki mamini kwa Gia hachmo sak mana kaya Tansi kia ispai kwaya Bekam we hachmo statagok kam kisei tamana mawachmona aya omosom eki opiki ko ukuba eki wani hat utauya 8 years old tatuponet eko so kauya ito wicha me wanda to Battleford igwegi ko schemat omosom eko okuma eki matate samana from window to window itotet eko minay mo chimisot kita tuito kapapaitik mo somno kumdo eksana gigiyo ichewa muy katski tam nimamanto wine tutawauto tepiaka mo sam steak isaghat aya okumego omosoma excisian manito ya kape ayom in the morning no dim soma negi way wito egomane ekita pet ute sakaste no aya east up the open skate every morning kagisimoto kwaya tekama mana ka ke kitwet ay ma wento kwa mama ko witwayan Aya ega skisiana isa no chomen mama ka kema ne gumu mai mau ne gitwet ene hiawit ka te peis tiget o taya mawin no tawinan kichigi se go kayayen kitawi kana te tafan kiwi hon kite peis tigewen kitawi o chichipayo o taski kaise aya kichigi se go Anot kagi segak minan kau tipe matis yak mina kasina monan ni machito to awinnana kaise kasina moako aniki kagi wantu ta kuako. This is game nan hikaya kamachimam taneitamak mina ikatena monan kiwe kamayata kia kitayan ipes chikewin mina soka suin Mina skateamuin hai. Eva diskaya nista no take skate ena matanche kaisitu ana mai mawen. Epse pisingi gaskitan muy makos westchesel. Danita benan doe 100 times nikito an panis ka skate man ikaigatat ka tapata man I am that prayer on paper. If stay nick skate then the mama gisagi walk no ta wimina. Ka kigemana ni mama kia duet kamau se kantuna no ka you Christmas ka you and the way of Johnson sak ki kami emi check exe ka you manegi mau sabunto friendship center asko Pugite kia kakyo gipno swak Christmas ki mausaguntua. Ebamane nitsanak nia. Ayamana we took turns saying a prayer and blessing the food. Said nia woman to go and gaituan. Ebamanan kayamana kagochim goyan kakaki simuan. Ego kaksewa tutaman nituan nene hiawan mana. Exe Christmas amegwe gisaya egise aiman nitau kakyo kamio gise kansinawa beka na aya nestem kamati pafit hey ayane tego kakyo gis kwaya sina wow she's crazy ayuma eto yan kakyo kamio gise kansinawa Evo de tita go kakyo kikiskwaya sanawa. Ego chuma no tayam. Kaga skisiano mani mama. I have a lot of memories of her. Egina katamakwa kakisimo kake mantona naskumok. Egomana mina kaki gingamot iniyotamot in the sweet by and by. Ekote pati ma. Stahiki wen gigs no magonan ni mama. Niguta waymanan magais nikskatenan yun okay at. Epse miugi sekansik manito kasawiniko wow.
Hey, Sylvia. Put gay bulky goya.
Kaya Sylvia, kipihtawin.
Aha.
Okay, able ni the able Charles. Sino tikwi chimitano maya imiskutaman ne maya imitskwiwa mihtawi kaya arranged marriages mitanchi mistahi kusimano chispado ahpomina oskini ko tatawi tiskwiwa ikusichimana mistahischimana ikusigispat or was there a lot of dating tatikiski matanaga we chiwa ganin matiago hachimustawisina
Muya ki wainik skate na ya kata wex kota skutspana ka beta mako maya nsata moigi mekchik aputo ko sam sta ho maya ni nana peo ka milk seteta ni setup teo kito ko sansko ni seta ya Mascot maneki Mexico misik. Tasko manu nima ka mustawit. Ayam. Nima som eki that Ski Joe, which was a treaty Indian. Go nape men. Muy kaktamakso kijasimsak. Usam kaya saya. Dito ko sana kay kiktamaksit. Kaya ko manang giachamusta. Ayamana road allowances eki wikchik. Ego Jimmy said it to Capito Sansko Kati Mexico aya Skichua like treaty Indians. Ego Yimina Nuta Wimina Ogawya Ego Mina Pito Sansko Ayus Jayam aya she was from Green Lake. Eptamina Ego Chite Nuta Wigagini Taktuchke to some Nestase wengi pete nana ya naya no kuma nana eki witsanit 9 brothers ego kakil kini taktus chiki. So ego mapagunya kak skate manan mauya ay horses mana gaigia atawig muya wam maya ndochaya mustahen do chik skaten magami naya mo pupego wi gataya eusaya witeto chik nima maga no tawi where hatumu nima mawa ka hatumut kundoge ka kiwa the younger generation. Why you never went on a date with him? My guys, they had such their values were bringing up their children, were loving their children. And women and dojito tanan residential school. Nemo so many we jam goak we have to get man at 3 miles a tapatikwa sleigh in the winter time. Egominegi benatikwa and I seem to get I say get David I hit the grass get God's 60 or 70 kita
Okay. Sylvia, do you speak English?
Aha, tanene ayumayam taneme kwache aimia nice muy nitaya. Tanka iskaskita nene wan magais muy kamicheto kaya. En stota ne hiawe when observe tane Tagashi mun magaw yako makakta takane hiawe taktamane ne kwene hiawan. But it's thinking in 2 languages sometimes I find difficult, but yes, I speak very good English.
Okay. I want you to briefly respond to my question in both Cree and English. And what does reconciliation? Tansi
reconciliation. You know what? I haven't really given it much thought, Abel. I'm sorry. Because I guess one thing, I didn't really go to residential school, and I worked for the government for 40 years as a Canada employment consultant. And so I been more focused on other areas. So I know very little about reconciliation, but I know it's in many forms. It's learning to live in both worlds, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that's it for me for now. Brenda, go ahead.
Okay, before I say anything, I'll get Tina Bulwood. And thank you, Sylvia.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you once again, Sylvia. I really enjoyed listening to your stories, and I really enjoyed listening to you talking in Cree as well. It is good that we keep encouraging our younger generation to speak that Cree language and to be able to understand it and actually really speak it, because like I said, there's so many some of them, you know, they have a hard time, or they'll actually chop a word, abbreviate a word, I guess, you know, like for example, when you ask the younger generation, like, you know, for something, and if they have nothing, they'll say muggy or mug, you know, and I have to go back to that a lot of time, you know, and I say, what is that, you know, just for them to realize, hey, that's not a real word, eh? So we have to keep going. But like I said, you're doing good, and I really enjoy it. And it'd be nice if I could hear you. Can you speak Michif?
Is this Rhonda?
Nope.
Is this Rhonda?
No, this is Tina.
Tina.
Oh, Tina.
Yeah.
Oh, Tina. Oh, if it was Rhonda, I was gonna say, "Kipa pa kuzin." Your father was my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But no, because I was sort of young, but my mom would say things like, I remember one time we were going to Saskatoon and she goes, Linage. And she said, you know what I'm saying? I said, what, Mom? She said, snow.
Oh.
And then she would name different things. Le Quail, I think, something like that. And she said, what time is it?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but as I said, we do have a lot of Métis people in Red Pheasant as well.
Mm-hmm.
A nerve-wracking session.
Yeah. Okay, it was good to hear you speak of your family as well, because I know you do have a very large family, and family gatherings are very important to have, because that's where you get to know each other as relationships. And one of that Cree term was wafutuin that we were talking about earlier. It's very, very important to know who you are, where you come from, you know, to know your identity and things like that.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing? My granddaughter doesn't speak Cree, neither did her husband. And what he did is, because he goes to a lot of ceremonies, and the ceremonies, a lot of them are conducted in Cree, so he started pasting little signs like the door squat, them, all over his house. That's how he was teaching himself to speak Cree. Thought that was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because I have my one of my grandchildren. That's what they do. You know, even though if I speak Cree to them, you know, but still we stop when yeah. Okay, except the ma Sylvia in an askum lepe peaks queen.
Yeah.
He's stuck in some snow to me. Hi.
Yes, kinanaskomtin Sylvia. Saatski tamasan kakituttanano. Ekoya. Tinne am stegi goekta ja. Kapeatsi muinama. Stegi goekoja. Musahkinen. Mstuhtama ona musahkinen. Things man ga pikuitami ko anas ko pat kium ka chimuin gewan stuhtenewa. Especially about Kaitoina pitogo sansko manigi make squami chick nihia. Ewa megon stuhtena. Ani kama.
Niste trao. Nima mama giat mosto to same gi demoxite kaya. Magi wayland o tayachi.
Munan toigia. Ni kita kaitoichik.
Yeah. Road allowances and little ayatas kutmano his sweat lodges. I got to a week chick.
Oh.
Hey, when we are Mama, we are mota pochik. Demoxo. Maga. Get a wapu maga later, get the mark sit a ski Joe was a treaty Indian, a ski Joe go nap him and muy got the marks of the jar, simsak, or damino, kawinuksetik kitapana kusima kwaya ata saito. My mom was very beautiful, as you know.
Yeah, she was.
With 100 pounds, slim, green-eyed, long black hair, young Métis lady. Komanaisa kipe toa bam gumanaya. Munya sa ko kutagapito ko sana moya makikita ko tumusama moya ko nagkakiunape men ski too ko nape mi eksimi na eking tawat umusama moyo sa aya tunis fate gina nakita wat ekom steaky saki tao red peasant. I guess she always remembered that she had no land when she married her dad.
Yeah, sumaga tamiya Sylvia. Eko one more thing, I Winston Watney kiwa kumagan. Katanskag. Masinaham.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Eko ya emeta man kagi pegiu ketman nigin hiawe ke kaski kwa tutame ke kwa me masinaha no take skate tamus.
Ayan, I are really close. I miss them.
Yeah.
And he's so funny.
Ego kutak Pauline Standing Rock siga so guminan tawe tay kispin na kamasnaman amama kaito inama ay miha unama our father. Kanya masnaman in tawe ta.
Ayama, you can get it off the internet.
Did you hear that, Pauline?
Yeah, you can get it off the internet. That's where I got mine from. There's different versions. Magaya, there's a Woodland Cree and different dialects. Maganya since Tutaman, I could follow that outline. But since Tutaman, it's just because our Cree is a little different.
Yeah.
It's Maya, but Titan.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you again, Sylvia. Kinanaskum ne. So talk to you again in we purchase it to get on. So yes. All right.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you. Have a nice
Kista. Yes.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right. We'll kind of recap of if you guys want to call in, there's a number that you see there that you can phone in. And we got about 15 minutes before we're done for the day till tomorrow. So if you want to recap on any of these elders, what they talked about, like there was Tina Whitford, Margaret Descharme, Tina Benson, Maggie Cuttan, and last one, Sylvia Watney. So if you have anything that you want to talk about, go ahead, Abe. People.
Okay, thank you, Brenda. Tinigaya. Ayakan na kachamustago Sylvia Watney. Ika mihchitmada kihtiya kihtawa kaya. Ika shomi ta chamuchigaya. Kigina ni mihito chigmane. They used to have either a one-room house, a big house. Maybe it's a barn, maybe it's a hall, or some kind of a one-room building where they had dances. And in a lot of the stories I hear, these were sober dances. They were anyway, in Stanley Mission, he heard that there was a dance at the local hall, so he went there. But he was half cut, or maybe more than half cut. But they won't let it. They won't let him in. This was in the middle of the summer. They won't let him in there because they didn't want anybody intoxicated in the dance. They were having a lot of fun dancing.
Maybe he had heat stroke.
Anyway, this was they won't let him in, and he was kind of upset that they won't let him in. So this is late in the evening, probably already getting dark. He went to the back of the hall into the bush, and I don't know how he managed this, but a beehive, a big beehive, an active one that's being used. Because they had to open the window to get some air in there. Mintasi naman nimi doon tahaya ka mo watched them this beehive right into them where the people were dancing. Anyway, I think most of the whole hall was cleared. I think pretty well after that.
His revenge show.
Yeah, being vengeful, I think. So, but like the reason why I said he might have been more than half cut is how do you manage to get an active beehive and walk with it? Like when there's a lot of bees, not to be affected.
Maybe that was his protector, Amua.
Now, as you know, we are known. We used to have a pretty active trapping industry. Because we have a lot of fur-bearing animals, so and people would go to the Hudson Bay in and the Hudson Bay manager was grading the fur, the pelts, also known as skin. They called them. I guess this particular manager called these skins. And my liga modaya kagadashi mo. This trapper didn't speak any English or didn't understand his English, so he was standing there listening to this Hudson Bay manager talking in English. And once in a while, this manager would say, "Oh, good skin. It's a good skin." And all of a sudden, I guess he said, good skin. Anyway, go ahead, Brenda.
Wow. Like I said before, he's Chipuano. He is originally from Buffalo Narrows or Turner Lake. And but anyways, when you there's one story that first time he came Mutese. This was before Gagiugawian Nakskatochik. Anyways, I guess he came to North Battleford. It was a smaller town to Kipsas into. And there was this one, I used to work for this one guy in Koshinto. This one time that Muñoz told me, "Babe, come with me. Come to town with me. I'm going to go get something." My dad wasn't very good with he spoke mostly Yichiponimut. He spoke mostly Dene. Anyways, I guess that Muñoz left him on the street and said, I'm just going to go in here. And that guy, gave him a banana. That Muñoz gave a banana to my late dad. And he said, "This is for when you get hungry. You can eat it." Anyways, I guess after that Muñoz came back. And that Muñoz looked at my dad, looked around on the ground, and he asked my dad, "What happened to the banana peeling?" And my dad said, "What banana peeling? You told me to eat the banana, so I ate the whole thing too." My first time my dad ever saw a banana peeling. I mean, a banana, so he figured he had to eat the whole thing, huh? That's a northern, for you, was from the north. There's one story too. It's my late dad. He always told stories about himself. Then he was in town. And back then there was a store, they called it Kresge's back then. Some people know about it in North Battleford, Kresge's. It had big windows. Anyways, there was this mannequin. There was this woman that was standing on back then he didn't know what it was. There was this woman in on the window from the inside, and I was walking, and it was a Muñoz squelto. So my dad said I kept walking back and forth, and this woman would stand like this, you know. So every time I walk by, I would wave at his muñas. And all this time, he thought, my dad said, okay, peace into I was getting tired of walking back and forth, through this window to just this white woman who was waving at me. And I thought, oh, that woman, I think she likes me. Here it was, those mannequins. Oh my God. But anyways, that was, oh yeah. Okay, tomorrow we're going to start at the same time, 12:30, I hope. 1 o'clock this. We can start at 1:45. 12:45 we'll start. And we have 5 guests tomorrow. And the first one we'll hear is Bernadette Finde. She's from Sweetgrass. The next one is Walter Swingler. He's from Sweetgrass. And the next one is she's an auntie. She's originally from Little Pine. Teresa Sapp. And this one's from Mosquito, Kenneth Armstrong. And the last one is Linnell Benson. He's from here. So we have those people to listen to tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. Tinigimagayak, Brenda, and Ayahumayak, Kagi Tastanwe go Mota, Ayak, Kigomin Turnama, Kigomin Tavigaskita, Tani Homago to Totama. Well, they Ibidakta Pistagok, Manamakita Yamuino, Midlashin to Tapistagok, Tapachita, Tachamustatua, and Skunamatua, Hachamuina. I piegi gagi apartment papapia. Well, kipapapina no askawa tawida. What we had done with so midlash no maya kikaskitana no saki gagi no tikaskita kaya kinantotawa kogi aya kottagagi tiayak atigi tie wisianista mistä hiki kwanikiskin no hamakok so nanashkomagi ja hachmustagoa qauma tapagan simin uska go muistawa kachet negis jagoma ya kiskin hamachi goma ta nohti ni hidui chaguma wilaya tashkochka gi twitotagosik Brenda ya modom pito stahomagagi mudaga maski koti gagi tohtana no ya tantawigis kidit mahomakita ya muinno o tahom poko Canada o tapogito gi paswaka po in the prairie provinces ikotahom pogi tagapo with the Cree language Moniao takagadashi mut of mitagin tantoy miskamuit o tayamuin mulagida no mikantoy miskina no muta itayamuin no so yagan po ayak tamam tunidit tamak manamaga ayak po mayak so ayami na ayak kimiskotina wa atit kido miskotamaga ceremony yagomo maya muin ka kapatakin ceremony whether it's the sweat lodge or any other ceremonies, yago magapatak so ikotamina ya tagiapat na nigano tagomina michit min ni hilawi nigamuak tas kuchka machita uskinigisugi nigamu o Canada. Ikotahanem many uchkiskino hamagan rig tayamuino through song in ni hilawi nigamu to Canada so yagonema ya manemaga midashin. At the Kisnetiski Tako go to Huskayak, the Gi Achimustagok, Achimustoyak, or Humoa, or Musomoa Hapo, Kutahochi, Tasco yet the Miskashuak, yet Dayak, yet the Miskashuak, yet the Milayak, yet Dayak, yet the Matamiak, Tasco, Gamilasik to give Miskano, Nihila Nakisi. So yagomaya yagonida kotna mano tahanoska gisa so kinashkomit na kakiloma kapia chimwig minagiza kotia Clifford Watney School kanif mapi Tina and kashaya Brenda Rhonda egashaya Nathan Tina gomaya omagisi chigi Go ahead, Brenda.
Oh. Okay, scratching and don't get done, then I guess.
Well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Like I said, with the list of names that are coming up, I'm looking forward to listening to the stories. That one there, Leslie Pewap, Sconias, he put enjoyed listening to stories in Cree, especially when when you are listening to stories in Cree, and then when you listen to the stories in English, and when you have the ability to listen in Cree, it makes so much more sense. You know, it has a different value. It has a different meaning, I guess, in some way, somehow, as opposed to when you're telling it in English. But there again, I guess you're targeting to try and find what you're trying to say. But like I said, Cree language is wonderful to be able to speak and listen to. Good job. Thank you, Leslie. I said nanaskaman kakyo geteg hatsumon anots. They thankful for all the elder stories today. Yeah. Thank you, Samantha, for posting that comment.
Good job, Samantha. And he was trying to write that in that Roman orthography. Very good of you to do that. It's a start. So again, I guess that's it for the day. So see you tomorrow and have a great evening. Yes, waku tok. As they say, next.
Abel, Egose.
Egose, tinigi. Thank you. Nui michin ego haya rubbabu ego lucklut. That's mischief.
Huh? Okay, Abel, don't hang up yet. Nathan wants to get us.
Okay.
Okay, mustas.
Yeah.